The Israelites are coming. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving, you can keep the stuffing. It's pagan, disdain, it's vain, it's nothing. The European Union about to hit the button. And I feel sorry for you if you think the Lord is bluffing. That's why I hit the booth and I tell the truth. Are you fishing with the truth? Homie, where's your fruit? If the Most High is your rock, don't treat him like a side piece. Come in this truth plan and treat you like a side piece. He's the God of mercy and wrath. So do you wanna fly or do you keep the Bible on cop? The Most High is my rock.
TK.
Rock, rock. The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. My rock. The Most High is my rock. In the name of Messiah, the Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. Yeah. The Most High is my rock. I keep my Bible on cop. The Most High is my rock. No time for cupcake and the cutting. Hit the streets and start cutting. The Israelites are bubbling. The Israelites are coming. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving, you can keep the stuffing. It's pagan, disdain, it's vain, it's nothing. The European Union about to hit the button. And I feel sorry for you if you think the Lord is bluffing. That's why I hit the booth and I tell the truth. Are you fishing with the truth? Homie, where's your fruit? If the Most High is your rock, don't treat him like a side piece. Come in this truth plan and treat you like a side piece. He's the God of mercy and wrath. So do you wanna fly or do you keep the Bible on cop? The Most High is my rock.
TK.
At 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard, Houston, Texas. Wow, that's loud. 77071. We're here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and Saturday. Monday and Wednesday, 7 to 9. Friday, 6 to 8. And every Saturday from 10 to 2. If you are local, if you're in the area, you want to get class, feel free to join us. It's no problem. We're here for you. We got a school in Virginia. They're at 2610 Granby Street, Norfolk, Virginia, 23517. They're going every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday from 7 to 9. All right, so if you're in the Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Newport News areas and you like class, Richmond, Norfolk, feel free to join them for class. We got a class in San Antonio, and they're there every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7 to 10, Saturday 10 to 2. Again, feel free to join us. Feel free to join us for class if you're free. We also got working on that building out there in Albuquerque. But as y'all see, Brother Mashaba, he's here on Saturdays. He's here on Wednesdays. So that's a good thing. It's good to have him. So yeah, make sure you check out class. My bad, I'm trying to get this set up here. Make sure you check out class, okay? We got the Blog Talk Radio that goes on every Tuesday and Thursday at 9:30. We have a few new cable shows. We have the Hidden Truth Bible channel, or the Hidden Truth Cable Show channel on YouTube. We have the Israelite Media Corp. That's for our news show. The Hidden Truth Bible class is for our cable show. Obviously, we have all the class channels. All you gotta do is just type in ISBHPK. It'll bring up all the Norfolk, the Albuquerque, the San Antonio, and the Houston channels. ISBHPK Kids, 5 Minutes of Wisdom. We're gonna get all that rolling. So look out for those. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the like button. Everybody on Facebook, hit the share button. Okay. We got a few upcoming feasts. This Friday we got Purim, Friday and Saturday. March 6th and 7th, we got Purim, so we will be observing the feast day on Friday and on Saturday. We're not going to have class Friday. We'll have class Saturday in the morning, and then we'll have the feast in the afternoon. Again, if you like to be a part and you're local, come on through. In April the 12th, on April the 12th, we got Passover. All right, we've been telling y'all about it. San Antonio's hosting this year. Make sure you make your reservations. She'll put the address on the screen. April the 12th at sundown. If you like a garment for Passover, get your money in. They are trying to buy things tomorrow. We gotta get on it. Today is the 2nd, so get the money in, man. Get the money in if you like a garment. Make sure you fill out the Passover RSVP and the garment request sheet so they can know what to order for you. Even if you haven't put the money in, please fill out the garment request sheet at least. Right? Right. Please fill that out at least so they know what to order for you. Okay? Very time sensitive. They put a lot of work into these garments. We don't want them to be rushing, even though they're going to have to now anyway, because of the time. But at least put in your size, the tribe, all that stuff on that form. It's in the YouTube. Fill that out if you want a garment. That way we can know what to order. If you'd like to contact a teacher, my phone number is 303-557-8979. You can contact Priest Kazakia. He is in Virginia. His number is 281-707-2737. Please text only during class. If you'd like to help out the school in any way, we got a few ways you can do so. You can check out our website, sweetambiance.com. All right. If you'd like to support and get something in return, check out our website. You can make purchases on the website. You can sign up for our subscription box on the website. We support ourselves with the fragrances, the natural oils, the body oils, the fragrant aromatherapeutic oils, and we do a few other things with the oils. Bath bombs, soaps, body butters. So you can check us out that way. If you just like to give an offering or alms, you can do so through the Wells Fargo or through the Google Wallet. You can send money that way, any monetary donations. Anything you want to give towards Passover or towards the Lamb, we're still trying to raise money for that. Just whatever you send, please just label what it's for or what you're giving towards so we can allocate the funds to that. So if you're going to send money, let's say you said $50 and you want 25 to go to the Lamb and 25 to go to alms for the school, just let us know so we can designate the funds. Okay? That'll help out a lot. That way we can put it to where it needs to go. That's it for the announcements. What time is it? That's it for the announcements. Was there any quick any questions we could hit quickly? I definitely want to get into this topic we have, but is there anything that we can touch on? We'll give them a moment online. Shalom. How and where can we donate towards the Passover? Right. You can send any money you like through the Google Wallet. It's isbhpk@gmail.com. Can you put that flyer up one more time? Oh, you got it? Yeah, isbhpk@gmail.com, or the Wells Fargo account is there. So yeah, those are the ways you can send any monetary donations to help out. No, you don't want that piece. Yeah. Anything? Shaquat, anything?
Well,
Anything quick?
yeah. First Maccabees 1 and
You in that Maccabees so hard. This brother been reading Maccabees for like the last month. It's good though. I like it. What's up? First Maccabees what?
1 and 26.
Uh-huh.
It says so that the princes and elders mourned, the virgins and young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women was changed. Is that
Right.
Who was it referring to when it says the beauty of women? Was it referring to like the same thing as
You gotta read up. You gotta read up. Read from verse it's been easy to be trying to get it 140. Go to verse 19. First Maccabees 1. Start at verse 19.
First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 19.
Right. So, do you know who this is talking about?
Israel.
Right. Start at let's see here. Boom. It made himself. Where's it at? This is talking about. Right. This is talking about Antiochus Epiphanes. Right. Remember when you read up, it tells you that there was Alexander's kingdom was split by his 4 generals, but there rose up out of that 4 a wicked group. They were all wicked, but this dude was the most treacherous. Antiochus Epiphanes was a beast. So when you read down now, it goes into what he was doing. He fought wars with different countries. So when you start at verse
19.
Start at verse 17. Verse 16.
First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 16.
Right?
Now when the kingdom was established before Antiochus,
Antiochus.
he thought to reign over Egypt.
See, he wanted to reign over Egypt.
Come.
So what did he do? Go ahead.
That he might have dominion of 2 realms.
Right. He was looking for the dominion in 2 realms. Go ahead.
Verse 17. Wherefore he entered into Egypt with a great multitude.
Right.
With chariots.
Right.
And elephants. And horsemen. And a great navy.
Remember the movie 300?
Come.
Now remember when they were fighting the 300 and he came with, the first wave was that great navy, right? That was sitting in the ocean and the storm came and it wiped out the navy.
And number 2.
And that's part 1. In part 1, the first wave was a navy. They looked in, they saw the navy of ships, they were like, whoa. Right? Just imagine that, this great navy.
Come.
And then they started sending men on horses. But then they sent men on elephants, remember that? And they backed them up into the ocean. This is how Antiochus was rolling. He had that type of strength. Yeah, he wasn't playing. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 18. And made war against Ptolemy.
Follow me, right?
Ptolemy, king of Egypt.
Right?
But Ptolemy was afraid of him.
Right?
And fled.
Because Antiochus, again, he was fierce.
Come.
Go ahead.
And many were wounded to death. Thus they got the strong cities in the land of Egypt.
Right.
And
Go ahead.
And he took the spoils thereof.
And when you look at Egypt, Egypt was well defensed. Egypt had a few other cities around it. Like when you read in Nehemiah. Is it Nehemiah? Yeah, Nehemiah. It tells you that Egypt was a defense city. It had Libya, it had Put, Liberia. So it had defenses. Go ahead.
And after that, Antiochus had smitten Egypt. He returned again in the 143rd year, and went up against Israel and Jerusalem.
Right. So now he's okay. I got Egypt. Now it's time for me to take Israel and Jerusalem. Go ahead.
With a great multitude, and he entered proudly into the sanctuary.
Go ahead. So now. That's why it's important to read up, because all it's going to do is show you what he did when he went in. Right? So you got to put your mind. He went proudly into the sanctuary. What did we use the sanctuary for?
Worship.
For worship, for sacrifice. right? To get to fulfill the things that the Most High told us to do. Right? Go ahead.
And he entered proudly into the sanctuary and took away the golden altar.
Right? So he took away the golden altar. Go ahead.
And the candlestick of light.
And the candlestick. Remember, we went over it in Sabbath. Were you here for Sabbath class? I don't think you were here for the last Sabbath class. We went over the menorah and how much gold and how much it weighed. What was that? A 75-pound menorah? You remember that? Yes. The menorah was 75 pounds. So they saw this. They were like, oh, we need that. They took these things. But these are the things that the Most High set for us to make towards the worship of Him. You see that? But they went proudly like, oh, okay, these dudes got riches. They got women. They got cattle. We want it. Go ahead.
And the candlestick of light and all the vessels thereof.
Right? And all the vessels thereof. Whatever it was. The censers, the spoons, the table, the plate for the showbread, all that stuff that we had set up in the temple. In righteousness, they went and they took it. Go ahead.
And the table of the shewbread.
Right? You see that? Mm-hmm.
And the pouring vessels. And the vials.
Right?
And the censers of gold.
And all these things were solid gold, man. All these things were made out of gold or brass. It wasn't nothing cheap. It wasn't no cheap metals, man. It was, what's a cheap metal? Nickel? It wasn't nickel plated. So they saw these things and they were like, okay, we're going to spoil them in their wealth. We're going to profane their sanctuary. Go ahead.
And the veil and the crowns and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all which he pulled off. Right.
When even in the Sabbath class, we went through the building of the temple and how he built it in Moses' time and then how Solomon came back and built. Bro, there was a lot of care. It took Solomon 7 years to build the temple at that time. The amount of gold that was overlaid on the wood, the amount of gold rings and there's the drapes and the craft that went into decorating the temple. It came and took all that. Go ahead.
Verse 23. He took also the silver and the gold.
Right.
And the precious vessels. Also he took the hidden treasures which he found.
Go ahead.
And when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre and spoken very proudly. Therefore there was great mourning in Israel.
Right.
In every place where they were.
Right.
So that the princes and elders mourned. The virgins and young men were made feeble.
Yeah, now think about it. If this dude came in and he said he did a massacre. You think that he came in and just took that stuff out the temple and rolled out?
Lie.
What was he doing to them virgins?
Murder.
Before they murdered them. Just raping them. Them men were raping them women. They was probably raping little boys because they're faggots. Right? So they ran through the city and laid waste to Israel. Laid waste to Jerusalem and the temple. Excuse me. But they wasted the people. They spoiled the people. They spoiled the men. They spoiled the women.
Yeah, it says the virgins and young men were made feeble. How you make them feeble?
Destroy their mind.
You destroy that body.
Rape.
You rape them.
Breaking, man.
Yeah.
These are the original buck breakers right here, man.
Wow.
Go ahead.
And the beauty of women was changed.
Yeah. You ever seen a woman that's been sexually assaulted? Or seen her family slaughtered? That beauty, that countenance changes. That beauty is no, that innocence is gone, man. You see that? Yeah. That's what was going on. You got our brothers and sisters out in the world now that they go through traumatic events. They go through traumatic, they see death. They see their moms and dads strung out on drugs, or they see their a little kid that see their mother raped. That changes your mind, and that's going to change the way you look at things. That's going to change you. But a person that actually goes through it, that changes them. It changes something about you. But that beauty, it's no longer there. Raj, read on.
Verse 27. Every bridegroom
right
took up lamentation.
Right.
And she that sat in the marriage chamber was in heaviness.
Yeah, because none of that was going on. Remember, he said, having made a great massacre, he slaughtered people. When you was ready to go get married, it didn't matter. He came through dead. Your bride, your rib is waiting in the bedchamber to consummate a marriage, and what?
All right.
That or the husband didn't show up, and vice versa. The husband, it said the bridegroom took up lamentation. Why? You shall betroth the wife, and another man is going to lie with her. So that's what they didn't come in. They didn't come in peacefully. Like, you got to think about the most worst case scenario of the Edomite mentality. And if you watch these movies, you watch any type of medieval type of movie, and when they go through a village, bro, they raping everything, even the animals, man. They just burn it all.
Now I was gonna say, go to Isaiah 3:16 real quick. Because see, Israel always had prophets foretelling the downfall of Israel. You understand? We always had somebody that told us, and instead of doing like Nineveh and repenting in sackcloth and ashes, our dumbasses just kept doing what we was doing. We just kept serving other gods. We just kept doing what we felt like instead of getting right. So Isaiah had already told us this verbatim, word for word, what was going to happen, what these Greeks was going to do. Read that Isaiah 3:16.
Isaiah chapter 3 verse 16. Moreover, the Most High saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty.
So why did he take away their beauty?
The daughters of Zion are haughty.
Because they was prideful as hell in their beauty. It wasn't about worshiping the Most High no more. It was about, let me take care of my hair. Let me make sure I'm doing my coconut oil rinse. Let me make sure I'm getting my French tips on. Let me make sure I get my toes done, my hair, my nails, my everything. Right, my skin. Let me make sure I'm super obsessed with making sure my skin is the softest, right? And let me make sure I have all the oils on. You're gonna see it as we read down. But this was what our women were stuck in. That's why 1 Peter 3 had to go and tell you, don't let it be the outward adorning. Because that's what brought our women down. That's where the Most High said, you know what? I'm gonna send these Greeks. They're gonna have their way with man, woman, and child, and they're gonna take away those women's beauty, man. Our women's pride used to be their virginity. That was their pride. Now it's how many hot dogs I done put in the bag. You know what I mean? Watch how many I can fit in the bag and fit in every hole. Well, watch, read on.
At once.
Right.
And walk with stretched forth necks.
See, they walk with stretched forth necks. It was just prissy. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Like a chicken head.
Right? What?
Chicken. The head just bopping back and forth, up in everybody's business. Go ahead.
That's an idiom for the pride too. I mean, you got your neck all stretched out. I mean, that's how proud our women used to walk around. That's why the Most High said they like the damn ostrich.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You want to talk about a stretched forth neck? That's an ostrich. Go ahead.
And wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go.
Right, the wanton eyes, the sexy eyes. I'm giving everybody the bedroom eyes. My husband, the niggas walking down the street, the priests, everybody.
Other chicks.
Right. Go ahead.
And making a tinkling with their feet.
Go ahead.
Therefore the Most High will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion.
Right, now, did the Most High come down himself off his throne in the fourth dimension and grab every single woman of Zion and strip her beauty off her face and everything like that?
Nah,
that's not how it happened, man. He used the wicked, which are his sword, like David said. He brought in Antiochus Epiphanes, and he came through with his army. His lustful, nasty-ass army came through, and they raped man, woman, and child.
Rape the beauty out of y'all.
There you go. Go ahead.
And the Most High will discover their secret parts.
Right. That's why a lot of these Edomite nations, the first thing they want to do is strip us naked. We went into slavery in a lot of different captivities, but you never really seen, the Egyptians didn't want to just strip us all naked. The Babylonians didn't strip us all naked. The Assyrians, you don't see all those carvings of we stripped naked. But when we went into any Edomite captivity, Greeks, Romans, America, first thing they want to do, get them clothes off, man.
Even when you go into jail.
Yeah, and look at it to this day, man. Rihanna, they got her parading around in a see-through dress. Right? You ain't even making it in the industry as a black woman unless you showing it all off, or you done showing it all off. Halle Berry didn't even get the Oscar till she let Billy Bob Thornton rape her on camera.
Yep.
Y'all see that? They want to see them secret parts, man. The Most High used Esau to do that. Go ahead.
Yeah, he said those. Remember in Maccabees, he said they discovered those secret treasures.
Wow.
Yeah.
Verse 18. In that day, the Most High would take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet.
What was their bravery?
The tinkling ornaments about their feet.
What else?
And their calls. And the round tires like the moon. The chains. And the bracelets. And the mufflers.
Now, just like Israelite women today, got my nails did, hair did, everything did. Oh, I can't go nowhere without my makeup, right? If you don't put a pound of makeup on and foundation, nobody's gonna talk to you. You're now just a lower level person in society. This is how women think. Like, if I don't get my eyebrows done, I can't step out. If my hair ain't done a certain way, because that's their bravery. That's what you take the pride in.
Right. We're not saying that it's wicked or evil or sinful for a woman to wear makeup, you know what I mean, to dress up, to dress nice, to have, these things. These are all things our women had. You know what I mean? You look at those Chinese movies and you see the woman, or even the Indian movies now, she's walking around, she got gold everywhere, just tinkling and everything. That's how they got that from our women. Y'all see that?
Okay.
But these things got stripped from them because they took too much pride in it. Y'all see that?
Okay.
Their pride wasn't in being an Abigail or being like Caleb's daughter or being, being a righteous woman.
It wasn't the wisdom first and then the beauty. Because when you talk about Abigail, it says she was wise. Then it came back and said, and she was beautiful. Judith, same thing. She was wise, then she was beautiful. Right. It wasn't, nigga, I'm beautiful first and then I got nothing else to offer. But my nails did, hair did, everything did. Read on.
Verse 20. The bonnets and the ornaments of the legs, and the headbands, and the tablets, and the earrings, the rings and nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel, and the mantles.
These are the things that had to be taken away because this is what our women were putting their trust in.
It became a god. That became their idol.
If they weren't adorned in this way, then they couldn't operate. They couldn't function. They put their trust in the material, the carnal things. Go ahead.
And the wimples and the crisping pins. Verse 23. The glasses and the fine linen and the hoods and the veils. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink.
Right.
And instead of a girdle of rent.
Right, so there's going to be fat. All that used to be there didn't used to be a running joke about comparing women to fish.
There wasn't your mama so fat jokes back then?
Right. You know what I mean?
Your mama so fat.
There was the smell of a woman. This wasn't known
to be all right. Like
when she was walking by with clothes on, like it is
today. She just hit her lobsters.
God.
Right. It said a sweet smell because that our women, they smell good. God. When you deal with who was it that had the house of they were cleansing the women and they had them in the frankincense and myrrh.
Yeah, that's
right. Right. Had them dipped in 6 months in frankincense and myrrh, just to purify them. So imagine when they got about that bath after 6 months. Whew. You just like, damn, I want to be next to that. But these days, Come on. I mean, how could there not be a stink when you wear the same pants to sleep, to work out, to the mall, to grocery shop, to church, to school, to the club, and then don't even wash them? The same spandex you just be in. All that's like your everydays. Like, what do they call them? Those are your all arounds. There's a word, man. When you can't wear the same spandex every day and do all these different things and there not be a stench. I mean, come on. But that's the mentality of our women. I'm gonna just be lazy, throw on the spandex, work out, go grocery shop, go to the mall, and then expect a nigga to holler at me. Oh no, I'm gonna reject every nigga that hollers at me. Right? But how? How you gonna reject everybody out? But instead there will be a stink. You got a stinky attitude and you got a stinky body odor. Because our women forgot how to take care of themselves. They were more. You ever go to that person's house that they always be dressing real nice, gear be on 50 million, swag on 10, and you walk in the house and you're like, whoa, what does that smell? And then you look around and it's just they haven't vacuumed in months. Everything, dishes in the sink, everything just dirty. And you're like, damn, you live here, but you look so clean on the outside. That was our women here. They stopped taking care of their houses. I mean, I'm gonna get dressed, but guess what? You forgot to shower that day. You forgot to shower. You thought that you were just gonna be able to throw on a silk robe, crimp your hair up, and move around, and then that was supposed to be it. And then got the nerve to deny niggas when they holler at you. You can see the holes in the spandex. You can see the holes in your socks. You wearing them dirty flip-flops. He can see the holes. Don't deny him. You need him because he's going to teach you how to bathe.
The crust on the back of the heel when they're wearing sandals.
All that. The ashy heel right there. Only men should have that. The ashy heel. Go ahead.
Verse 24, last precept. Oh, Salaka. Verse 24. And instead of well-set hair baldness, and instead of a stomacher, a girding of sackcloth,
right?
And burning instead of beauty.
Right. Burning instead of beauty.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead.
Thy man shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war.
See, Isaiah outlined everything that the Antiochus Epiphanes was going to do before he did it.
Yep.
He's letting Israel know. Listen, this man's going to come through. He's saying the Most High, right? But remember, Amos 3:7, the Most High is not going to do anything.
Yep.
He revealed this secret to the servants, the prophets.
Yep.
So he's letting us know, listen, I'm going to send my sword. I'm going to send the wicked. And they're going to come and they're going to take away all of this from your women. Not only the women, but your young men are going to fall by the sword. That's why these women that you're reading about in Maccabees, right? Tell you the bridegroom, or what did it say? The bride was what?
It said the bridegroom was mourning.
Right? She was lamenting.
Right. And
why? Because the groom ain't there. He'd been killed.
Got wiped out.
Your young men are going to fall by the sword.
Yep.
He said, thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. Y'all see that? Go ahead.
There it is.
Is that it?
No, read on.
Verse 26.
Finish it up.
And her gates shall lament and mourn.
Right, I'm talking about the elders.
Right, and it said it in Maccabees. It said the elder, right? Then it said the elder and the young man.
Yeah, so that the princes and elders mourn.
Right. Why? Because when these men were going to come through and wipe us out, what could they do? What they ain't trying to hear no type of wisdom. They're not trying to hear thus saith the Lord. They don't care about that. Go ahead.
And she being desolate shall sit upon the ground.
Right, so your elders was going to be in mourning. They was, just like we do Judah mourn at the gates of the language. Lamentations 5:14.
Right.
Right? The elders have ceased from the gates. Right? The elders will be at the gates, and why are they going to be in mourning? I don't got no young men to give wisdom to now. Esau done wiped them out. All that's coming to me is these women, all these broken women that got raped. You know what I mean? Their husbands are gone. Their sons are dead. Right?
And they use the elder to try to introduce the wickedness.
Oh yeah. When you keep going,
when you keep reading, they will go to the elders. They Mattathias, remember 2 Maccabees 2:17, right? They will go to Mattathias. Like, listen, go ahead and introduce this wickedness. They go to another brother. Go ahead, fake like you eating pork, but fake like you doing it so they can follow the people. So there was the elders, man, they left off. Basically, their job was wiped out. They had no leadership. They had no responsibility no more because the people were wiped out and the way they were being dealt with by the heathen.
See, you wouldn't have to read no made-up Willie Lynch letter that barely was introduced into society in the 1990s, and never was heard from before by any civil rights leader. You wouldn't have to read no made-up Willie Lynch letter if you would simply read the scriptures. You'd be able to see Esau's whole game plan. Every society they ever built, they built the exact same way.
Yep.
Every time they conquered a people, they did them the exact same way. Strip them naked, rape them, introduce them to disease, and break down their minds.
Yep.
Y'all see that?
Destroy the strong.
How did we end up in slavery the last time? Because we forgot about the slavery the last time before that.
Yep.
We forgot about what the Romans did to us when they conquered. Yep. We forgot about what the Greeks did to us when they conquered. We left this alone, man.
Mm-hmm.
You see that? Well, if we would have kept this, the first Native American that seen the white man coming would have been like, load up all the arrows, just kill everything.
Right.
Don't stop killing until nothing is breathing.
Yep.
And then make sure you push the boat back into the ocean so it don't even come to shore, because these niggas will give us plagues on plagues.
And rape our women and rape our men. But you get that, right? Right. Okay. It's 7:44. Do you know where your children are? No. Remember that commercial? It's 9 p.m. Do you know where your children are? All right, let's get into this class. I just wanted to just take a question, let's get into the topic. And y'all see the title. The title is, what is it? How to obtain longevity in your relationships. Right? Relationships. They're a beautiful thing if done right. If done right, relationships are a beautiful thing. And if not, what happens? It's a lot of fussing, fighting, contention, back and forth, up and down. You don't like me today, I don't like you tomorrow. We on the same page now, but next week we on two different books. Right? That's how relationships go. Now, is there a perfect relationship? No. Nothing ever is going to be perfect. You do have to have your little bit of ups and downs. You do have to have that to prove. And there's certain things you prove in a relationship with your partner. A man has to be proven that he can lead. A woman has to be proven that she can follow. And there's certain things that happen in relationships that prove those things. Now, what I want to talk to y'all about, brothers and sisters, is what are the keys? What are some of the keys to when things do get rough, when things do get hard? What are some of the main attributes that a relationship should be built on? And when we deal in the world, what do they tell you? If she looks good and if it jiggles right, that's your woman, right? Right? If he got a good enough bank account and his pecs are solid enough, that's your man, right? He got to have a six-pack. He got to have this car. He got to have that car. That's going to be the person you get with. Your parents, they never told you. I don't remember my dad ever sitting me down and being like, listen, this is the type of woman you got to get. Proverbs 31. He was just like, man, look at the breasts. Look at that booty.
You know what, since we're on the subject, I got to give a little lead up to this class, just a little bit.
Right, what you got?
Go to Ecclesiastes 25.
Oh, no. We're going to go there. 25-1? Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Nah, this is just a warning, because see, again, like he's talking about, in the world you was taught, look at her. Look at her soft skin, look at her big breasts, look at her this, look at her booty, look at her neck, look at her this, right? Look at them eyes.
Or look at him.
Right.
Look at him, his jawline, his jaw structure, his shoulders.
This one's going to the men, and of course the women got to take heed the same way. All right, but you know we're deceived as men into thinking because she looks soft and tender, right? That this is not a bear trap waiting to happen.
Because we want that soft and tender.
Yeah, you want that. But
you want that in a relationship.
Remember this, man, and this is a cliched scripture by now. I'm sure many brothers pulled this on their woman many times. Go to Ecclesiastes 25, verse 13.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 25, verse 13. Give me any plague.
He said, give me any plague. Any plague. Bubonic plague, SARS, the coronavirus.
Right? MERS, SARS, Corona, right? Influenza.
The Black Death. Give me any plague. Boils.
Bed bugs and mice.
Yeah. Right? Go ahead.
But the plague of the heart.
But the plague of the heart, falling in love. See, that's what your pops didn't warn you about. Watch out for falling in love. Watch out for getting stuck on the beauty of a woman. Yes, she's soft, she's tender, but make sure her mind is not wicked. See, they didn't tell you to go into the mind. But this is the most important part you were supposed to go into. Watch, read on.
And any wickedness, but the wickedness of a woman.
Now, this is a man that was as wise as Solomon. He said, I'll take any wickedness you can conceive of, except the wickedness of a woman.
Because then he comes back.
Did your pops warn you about that?
Right. Because then he comes back and said, there is no wickedness above the wickedness of a woman.
Right.
And that's the thing. No one, grandpa, pops, uncle, they didn't warn you.
They never prepare you for that, man.
Right.
But the things that get you into that wickedness is the stuff they tell you to go for. Ooh, look at that booty. Look at her chest. That's the stuff that gets you in the bear trap. Y'all see that? And again, not saying there's anything wrong with a woman being beautiful. All right, this is just a warning to the men. And then, of course, do the same for the women nowadays, because here's the thing. A lot of the men nowadays, they just as wicked as women now. You know what I mean? Especially because most of them been raised by just a woman. So what do you got? You got a man outwardly with a woman's wickedness inside. Just as emotional, just as quick to abandon logic and go right into, I'm gonna hurt your feelings.
You talking about the women are like that?
I'm talking about men.
Oh yeah.
The men get like that.
Right.
They get like women do.
And the women are the reverse, where they're
No, they still retaining their way.
well, when I say no,
they're teaching all our men that. You know?
Right, they're teaching the men because they teach the men to be strong outwardly, effeminate inwardly.
Yep.
They teach the women to be strong outwardly,
Right.
just like a man.
Right.
And then don't be effeminate at all. Just be a nigga all the way around.
Right. But
Right.
they still retain that woman vibration, which is, he's saying, any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. You got to look at Jael, man. Jael was a demon, man. I mean, she's a beast. I ain't going to say a demon. She was a beast with that. Come on in my tent. You know, we just chill. I know you run away from your enemies. Oh, you tired? Look, go ahead and lay down. You know what I mean? Here's a bowl of milk. You ask for water, here's some milk. I'm going to make it real cozy for you. And then, bam! 10 spike right in the head.
Right in the dome piece.
Like, damn. That's some wicked stuff, man. We was cool. You was bringing me milk. You know what I mean? You was letting me in the tent. Any woman's wickedness will be like that.
But the whole time he was looking at how it jiggled.
Right.
He wasn't looking at the right thing.
Yeah, because this day and age, man, you got brothers, man. Come on, we've been doing this a long time, counseling brothers a long time, and you got brothers that be on their knees crying because their woman didn't do some stuff like a man would do, knuckle up and fight them. You know what I mean? Nah, they came home after a hard day of work. You know what I mean? They wanted to go sit down on their favorite couch. You know what I mean? And just sit back and look at their fish in the aquarium. And this chick done bleached the couch, set it on fire, poured the rest of the bleach in the aquarium. You like, damn, that was my favorite thing. And that's what she went for. Your favorite thing. Tear your heart out type of stuff. Y'all see that?
Con.
That's why he said, give me any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. Because you don't want to tap into that negative side of her. And if you're not equipped, the reason I'm saying that for the men, if you're not equipped past what you're going to handle on the outside, if you're not equipped mentally to deal with her mentality, that's exactly where you're jumping into. You're jumping into the deep end of the pool quickly. You understand? And you got to understand is we were always trained that this is a relationship. You like her physically, she likes you back physically. Y'all picturing how you gonna look on top of the wedding cake, you know what I mean, or smashing the cake into each other's face, or how you gonna look on your post honeymoon pictures and postcards, right? That's all you pictured. But you didn't sit down with her on the date and be like, so how crazy are you? You know what I mean?
And let me say this, because we don't want it to. This is not a woman's class.
Nah.
This is not a woman bashing class. This is these things that we're gonna bring out.
I started with men because in this day and age we're the pursuers, and
Right.
we always have been.
Right.
So,
But I just want to make sure I set the tone.
Right.
So y'all don't think and start logging off like, see, y'all talking about the women again.
No.
We
This
give
is what
them the
starts a relationship. The man
Right.
pursuing the woman, and then you got very rare cases where the woman went after the man.
Right.
But the man pursues the woman generally. Right.
Right.
And what does he usually pursue? The softness, the beauty, the
outward
appearance. Y'all see that?
Right. I just wanted to make sure that y'all that I say that it's not a and it's perfect where he's going, because it just leads to the point of, well, what is your relationship based on? What was it based on from the beginning? Now, there's many different thoughts of what the most important part of a relationship is. You'll have some people that say it's the physical part, the sex, right? You have some people say you gotta have love, right? What is love? Don't hurt me. Like, what is love? Right? You have people say it's trust. It's this, it's that. Now, I just want to get some thought. What's the most important aspect of a relationship? Yeah. Remember, I'm saying relationship. This could be any relationship now. What do you gotta have?
Understand.
Okay, you say understanding. What do you say? What say ye? Commitment. What you think? Trust. Shara. What is love?
You asked what is love?
What's the most important part of a relationship, in your opinion?
The trust.
The trust. Okay. Abadiah, what do you think?
Communication.
What do you think, Rosa?
Patience.
Patience. What do you think, little Naomi in the back? What do you think? Any relationship.
Oh, well, yeah, communication, like telling each other things, like trusting each other.
So communication. Yeah, it is the most important thing. That's the first and foremost.
What are they telling y'all now? What are they telling kids now is the most important? Because when I was a kid, it was all about, what you seen on TV. And you was aspiring for that. So it was looks. It was being able to be a good kisser. You know what I mean? They didn't tell you how to lead up to that. All of a sudden, you was just meeting some girl, you liked her, and you kissed her. But that turned a lot of our people into rapists and everything.
And you got trichinosis. What is that? Kissing disease? Mono.
Mono?
Yeah. Everybody was running around with mono.
Yeah. Well, what are they telling y'all now? Not to put you on the spot, but what are they? You the youngest one here. So what are they telling y'all now?
She don't be having. She don't have those. Remember, she's not in school like that. So there's nobody influencing her brain. Like, yeah. See why? Ain't nobody gonna be able to hit her. What's up, Shara?
Well, I just took a psychology class in college.
Okay.
And it was on growth and development, which
Right.
they talked about relationships. And in the part of the chapter, they encourage people to seek counseling first and like make up scenarios of like the worst case scenario, how that person would react.
Right.
To determine if you want to be with them. Like, what do you do in situations when you're mad? Oh, I blow up. Okay, I don't want to be with you. So I know that's what they're kind of teaching in school to do.
So, I was talking to my nephew yesterday.
Right.
10 years old, little boy, right? And my sister, she was like, oh, he has a girlfriend. And I'm like, what? So, my little nephew Jeremiah, 4th grade, 10 years old, has a girlfriend.
Oh, that's normal.
Is it?
Shit, I was chasing chicks in the 4th grade. 3rd grade, I was looking at women. Girls. Hell yeah.
And I was like, what do you know about her? I don't know. Who asked who out? I asked her out. Did your mom know? No. Did your stepdad know? No. Why do you have a girlfriend? I don't know. I've known her since the 2nd grade. Okay. But see, after a while within the conversation, I kind of stepped back from it because I didn't want to just go in with emotion or type of no logic and no spirit, not to say the wrong thing. But now
you gotta set his mind on what is he looking for, because this is the thing. I was pursuing girls 3rd grade, 2nd grade, and I was always like just beauty. Like in my eyes, whatever beauty was in my eyes, that's what I went for, even young. And then I just developed a pattern into my old age until I learned, like, oh, wait a minute, it can't be all predicated on that one thing, because that beautiful chick is going to see another guy and want to get with him. You're going to fall short somewhere. You're going to fall short, and the carnal aspect of the relationship will not sustain the shortcomings. It won't sustain. And that's the thing. So communication, y'all said it. It's the number one. It's the number one because you have to be able to talk your way out of certain instances. Right? I'm going to read this real quick just to give y'all a little something. And this is some stuff I just pulled off the internet. Nothing major. Just looking into this, communication and relationships and these different aspects. And today I just want to deal with 2 aspects. I want to deal with communication, and there's another aspect I want to deal with. And then this class is going to be a 2-part, just so y'all know. Because there's a few other things that I want to go a little bit more in depth in. Right. I don't want to rush this one. So it says communication is of the utmost importance. Many couples tend to suppress their feelings when they are hurt or angry. And that's the problem. A lot of us get hurt by our partner, by our significant other, by our husband, by our wife. And what do? If you don't have the wisdom to be able to communicate your feelings, what do you end up doing?
Staying quiet. You
stay quiet, and then you suppress. Now, what does that do? Time after time after time after time. No, stop. I want to hear from a sister.
It builds up inside of you, and it's so hard to let it out, and then you start becoming someone else, and you have a totally different person around you.
Right. You start to suppress, and after so much trying to bottle down those demons, bottle down that hurt, either you explode or you just fall and fade to the back all the way, right? But I like what she said, you're no longer yourself. So communication allows you to be yourself. It allows you to be yourself. Now, if we're both dealing with wisdom, if we're both dealing with what the Bible says and what the scriptures say, then we know how to keep that order. I can be myself and still be in order with my husband. I can be myself and still show my wife that it ain't personal and that I love her. But you have to be able to communicate your feelings, right? It says they give each other the silent treatment instead of communicating and resolving issues. How many of us are guilty of that? Like, man, I ain't effing with her right now, man. A lot of young bros, that's how they think. Like, man, I ain't messing with that. I'm over here. I ain't messing with her. But what she needed was someone skillful enough to dive into her head and be able to figure out, okay, where did I hurt you? Or what's going on? See, communication is 2 ways. You got to be skillful enough to go in there and sometimes pull things out. right? Let's see here. It says the more you communicate with each other, the more you get to understand each other. So when communication lacks, what lacks? Understanding. And who loves to deal with lack of understanding? Who loves that? Satan, right? He loves to go and deal and pluck that seed that's trying to be planted through lack of understanding. That's where he comes in like, oh, y'all don't get each other? Okay. Ta-da! He pops up, and what does he start to do? He manipulates the misunderstandings. He manipulates the lack of communication, the different thought processes. He'll move certain pieces around, and next thing you know, y'all ain't talked for 2 weeks. Like, what? Y'all ain't talked, y'all ain't looked at each other. She stopped cooking for you. I ain't washing his drawers no more. Right? You just laundry piling up. You're like, wait a minute, how did this happen? Or she just get upset and does what? Move out. You got brothers that are still dealing with, after 5-6 years of dealing with the same woman, her threat is, I'm gonna move out. I'm gonna take my stuff and move away. There's a lack of understanding there. That through communication, that's what we get. I'm gonna finish this part up. It says, the more you communicate with each other, the more you get to understand each other, and the better your relationship gets. The more you refrain from communicating your thoughts and feelings to your partner, your thoughts and feelings towards to your partner, the more misunderstandings and mistrust is created. Satan is an opportunist. He uses that misunderstanding to now develop within your relationship, the confines of your relationship, a mistrust for each other. That's another aspect that we'll talk about is trust. Right? Communication. The more communication is the key to a happy relationship. Remember, but it's a two-way thing. So let's go there. Ecclesiastes 25. Ecclesiastes 25. And you know, it ain't no, these are basic scriptures that we always go through. But we got to see that there's an importance and there's a reason why they're in there, man. There's a reason why these scriptures are in there and we forget. Because how many of y'all done got in your feelings with your husband and just shut all the way down? Or how many brothers got too upset and too angry to be able to express yourself and communicate what you need from your wife? See, you see how it's two ways? It's not always, oh, she's wicked, this chick's off. Okay, but did you try? Did you try to, like the scripture says, pluck the eye of the water, pluck the mind of the spill his knowledge? Did you try in a different way? Or did you just do the aggressive, you don't talk to me? Right? Because there has to be, that communication has to be there. That's how you eliminate certain things. You got something to say? Or you want to read? Read on. Ecclesiastes 25:1.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 25, verse 1.
Go ahead.
In three things I was beautified.
Right.
And stood up beautiful both before the Most High and men.
Go ahead.
The unity of brethren.
Right.
The love of neighbors.
Read.
A man and a wife that agree together.
And we always go here and we talk about, oh yeah, the Most High is beautified in these things, and we always harp on the man and the wife that agree together. But what is the agreement? What's the agreement? That you'll do laundry this day or that day? Or you'll cook for me when I wake up? What's the agreement? Or we got to have sexual relationships on this day and this day and this day every Monday? No, every Tuesday and Thursday? What's the agreement? See, the agreement should be that we need to communicate. The agreement should be that no matter how angry you get or how prideful you get, we got to communicate our way through things before they start to build mistrust into our relationship.
God.
We got to communicate before Satan comes and dives that wedge. Before Satan throws in your head, oh yeah, I'm moving out. Oh yeah, he ain't good enough. Or yeah, he don't love me. Before he drives that wedge into your mind, you should already be in agreement that, you know what, we got to communicate. You got to, you know what Esau does? It's funny. They do this thing. This was way back in the day. I was watching where they had couples. They made them have sex every single day for a year, no matter what. Now we know that's unlawful, right? But no matter what, through sickness, they was coughing on each other. They was talking about it, and they claimed that made their relationship stronger, right? Now, biblically, where is that at? Have sex every single day, no matter what, and your relationship's going to be strong. It's not, right? It's not there, because we know that that's not the key. The key is, let me sit you down every single day, and we're going to talk. And we're going to talk about feelings, how you make me feel. You said this and this is how I felt. Or,
and that's the part they probably didn't explore, was that, okay, what am I doing when I'm having sex every single day? I'm around my partner. I'm talking to my partner every day.
Every day. We got to talk at least.
Right.
Even if we hate each other.
Yeah, just like how the Most High forced us with the feast days.
Right. Get together.
That's what it's about. It wasn't about, oh, y'all having sex every day. No, it was, what do y'all do to get in the mood to have sex every day?
And even if you're not in the mood.
Right.
You have to still force yourself to do something. You have to force yourself to say, you know what? If I don't foresee the evil of what's happening in this situation, whatever the situation may be, I told her to walk down the block and do a spin move, and she didn't do it, or she didn't want it, whatever it is, man. It roused up some type of contention between us. Next thing you know, she's sleeping on the floor outside, and I'm lonely in the bed. If I'm not skillful enough to understand what the Most High wants from this relationship and foresee the different evils that come with the lack of communication, then what's going to happen? Is there going to be a longevity that we're looking for? Who's looking for a relationship that lasts a year?
No one.
Who's looking for a marriage that's going 5, 6, 7? Who got time to have to start life over at an older age with a whole new marriage because the first one didn't work out? Who got time for that? Nobody. Nobody got time for that, right?
No.
Who has time to invest all that spirit and all that love and all that, all that investment just for it to wash down the drain because we didn't do basic? Communication is basic. Communication in any relationship is basic. I don't care. That's why I said relationship. Because without that, without communication, without saying, look, this is what I'm feeling at the time. Oh, let me sit back and listen to how you feel instead of saying, well, you shouldn't feel like that.
Let me ask you this. What do they usually say kills relationships? Or what's a typical ending quotations of a relationship?
Like when they divorce? Yeah. And on the divorce paper it says what? Irreconcilable differences.
Right. Well, what do the people say? What comes out of their mouth usually?
That they weren't spending enough time together talking. They didn't understand each other.
Right. Just didn't get along.
Yeah, we just couldn't get along with each other. We were always on a different page.
Or another thing is that's definitely one. The love died. Right? When you're in the world, it's the love died.
Oh yeah, the love ran out, the candle, the flame.
Yeah, we fell out of love with each other.
Right. We fell out of love. That's what it is. Oh, we fell out of love.
Right. For one, you probably fell out of lust with each other.
Right.
Right. But what killed it? The relationship just died. Okay, what killed the relationship? Let's go here real quick, and then we'll go right back. Proverbs 18:21. Proverbs 18:21. Real quick.
Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21.
Because that's what you hear. Oh, the love died. It was just a dead relationship. We got to the end of the road, right?
Right.
Go ahead.
Right.
Death and life are in the power of the tongue.
See, we always use this scripture to talk about the negative things that come out of a person's mouth. And he cause death with the power of the tongue. Right? But see, what else did it say is in the power of the tongue?
Life.
Right? He said death and life are in the power of the tongue. So you can choose to keep your relationship alive using that tongue.
Yep.
Not like they're using it out there. All right. Communicating. Y'all see that?
God.
Read on.
And they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof.
See, they that love, they want to be skillful with the tongue, with their speech. Those people are going to eat the fruit thereof. If you decide that you're going to be destructive with your tongue, and all you got to say to your woman is how she, you get into Martin mode. Remember Martin when it was his Run Tell That special, I think, when he was getting drunk. Yeah. Now look at you. You know what I mean? He's like, when I met you, you was a young tender bone. Right?
But 10 years later, you a fat bag.
Right.
You this, you that. All I could do is just downtrod you.
Yeah. If that's all that's coming out of your mouth, then yes, you're going to cause death in your relationship. Y'all see that? But if you know how to encourage, if you know how to turn everything into a team effort, it's not just her problem, it's y'all's problem. As you men, right?
And that's the agreement.
Right.
That's the agreement, is that I'm going to take on things with you. I'm going to deal with things with you. See, even the communication of, hey, I need help. I need help with this husband. Or I need help with this wife. Or whatever it may be. That has to be there. That agreement that we're here to help one another. We're here to better each other and reap that fruit of longevity.
Right. It's like what it said. What it say about the woman said, if there be kindness, meekness, and gentleness in her tongue. Right. These are the things that breathe life back into that relationship, man.
Yep.
When that relationship could be dying, why is your relationship still strong? Because when I'm mad, I talk.
Yep.
Because when I'm happy, I talk. Because when you've done something to offend me, I talk, right? All these things we always go over. Matthew 18:15, right? Go to that person. That works in relationships.
Yep.
You go to that person and talk it out.
But how does Satan play with that? Well, I don't want to offend them. I don't want to tell him how I really feel, because I don't want to hurt his feelings.
He's gonna get loud with me.
Or I don't want to hurt her feelings. But in Satan playing with that mind state, that allows you to not even deal with each other anymore remember when y'all were just friends and you could come to each other with anything?
Right.
You can talk about anything. You can tell them they breath stink. You can tell them this. You can tell them that. You can tell them, oh, you're looking a little bit fat in that dress. And she'd be like, oh, well, just laugh it off. And as soon as things got serious, right? What happened? Now there's no type of, you can't correct. As soon as you look at her a certain way, you look at me and you calling me fat in your mind. She's crying. There's no longer, I can take any type of criticism. See, the agreement was that we kept up being able to take and give criticisms and constructive criticism.
Is there sometimes a little bit of fear too that comes from that transition from being that friend and being able to say whatever, because you don't necessarily fear that your friend is going to just be like, I'm not going to be your friend anymore because you said my breath stinks.
Well,
as opposed to the relationship of a husband and wife.
Well, a husband and wife relationship, in the wisdom, a wife always has to fear how she comes to her husband.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay, say it again. I'm sorry.
That fear of like, if I say the wrong thing, then she's gonna leave. Like you mentioned, she's after a few years of arguing or whatever,
right?
That she leaves.
Oh, right.
This is exactly where I was going. Where I was going. Go to 1 Corinthians 13:11.
Right.
See, yeah, it is. When you have that shutdown of communication, or that you shut yourself down, like I'm not gonna go to them with this because
it's gonna cause this. Oh, you talking about the fear of that man going to his wife?
Both.
Or both? Okay, I wasn't getting what you were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, read this, 1 Corinthians 13:11 real quick, and you'll get an understanding of what's going on at that level. That you're not no longer dealing like adults.
Right.
See that? Because that's something little kids fear. Right? My son does that. I don't want to tell him that because he's gonna
get mad at me.
They're like, I'm already jumping to conclusions, and I'm super worried about the conclusions. Like, I ain't never beat my son before.
But he's worried about the consequence.
But he feels like if he says this thing, I don't know what's going on in his head, but like he feels like if he says this thing, I'm just gonna like turn into the Tasmanian devil and just run right through him.
And that's that lack.
Right.
That's that lack of understanding another person. And the more you communicate, the more you are willing to go and talk. You'll cast out that fear that, oh well, yeah, Pops is gonna flip out on me. Because like you said, you ain't never did that. Where does he get that from?
Right.
His own misconception. His own lack of, let me go to him and deal with him on everything. Not just 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, but every single thing to see. What's the outcome on everything?
Right.
You see that?
But, well, let's read this. Let's read this and then I'll explain.
1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11.
Wow.
When I was a child, I spake as a child.
See, when you are a child, these are the thoughts that go through your head as a child. Mm-hmm. You speak as a child. Go ahead.
I understood as a child.
Right? You understand things as a child. Now, what kind of things go through a child's head? What is most of their dealings with people, interactions with people based off of? Who can tell me?
Imagination?
It's usually 1 or 2 things, man. What's that?
I'm thinking like their actions when they see another person do.
Okay.
Or their reactions to things.
There you go. You see, it's usually fear or trust. Kids will deal with the person off of fear or trust. They come up and hug you. Why? Because they instantly trust everybody, right? You got the kids that just run up and hug everybody. Mm-hmm. And wave at everybody. I was that kid, you know what I mean? Waving at the cops while my mom's driving too fast. You know what I mean? Just happy to see everybody, right? So you got that trust, that instant trust of a child because they got that childlike trust. Or you got the other spectrum, fear. The kid that just hides behind his daddy's leg all day. You know what I mean? Right. Hides behind mom's skirt because why? I'm scared of everybody. And until you give me a reason not to fear you, I'm staying behind this skirt. Right? And then the other end of the spectrum, until you give me a reason not to trust you, I'm hugging you. I'm high-fiving you. I'm all in your face. Right? So theirs is based off of fear and trust. As an adult, though, you learn how to judge people off of different things. You learn not to just run up and hug everybody, right? Because you got some people be like, whoa, I don't know you like that, right? Or you learn not to be afraid of everybody right off the bat, right? You learn to put in some more gray areas, a little more criteria goes into how you judge whether you're gonna hug or hide from somebody. See, as an adult, you start putting more logic into your thinking, but as a child, you just go off of fear and trust. You understand? Now, as an adult, you can't act like that. So you can't bring that into a relationship. Like, okay, I'm afraid that this is going to happen, so I'm not going to talk. What are you talking about? The scripture tell you fear is nothing but a betraying of the secures the reason offered. You see that? You afraid of something that if you was thinking in your logical grown-up mind, wouldn't even be there. You know what I mean? It's to clear that up even better. When you was a kid, you was afraid of the dark. Why? Because you were afraid of the clothes that were dark? Or the chair that was dark? No, when you turn that light off, that chair turned into a dragon. Right?
Closet, the boogeyman was
Yeah, your clothes was hanging up. All of a sudden, they became the ghastly apparition in the night. You know what I mean? That was ready to choke you out of your sleep. Right? Under your bed was what?
Boogeyman.
Right, the boogeyman, right?
weird animal.
What's the other one? The chupacabra.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If you was Issachar, you had La Llorona was right outside the window in the bayou, you know, crying about her babies. As soon as the light went off, your imagination went nuts. Why? Fear. But when you cut the light on, the logic was there. You were able to see, oh, that's just a shirt. Oh, that's just my chair, right?
God.
So as a grown-up, you can't operate off of fear. Because why? Because you got to operate off of reason. So I can't just jump to conclusions and be like, I'm not going to talk to my wife because this is going to upset her. Or she might leave me. But if I'm standing up for the scriptures, I can't worry about what she's going to think. I got to obey the Most High rather than men.
God.
And if we're in that agreement, that's not even the thought. If a husband and wife agree in one, that's not even the thought.
Right.
Part of the agreement is that, you know how they do you in the worldly weddings, through sickness, through health, through death. What does it say? Death do us part, sickness, health, right? And you take the vows. It's the same thing, where the agreement should be that it can never get to a point where we can't talk. And early, right?
All right, read that again.
When I was a child, I spake as a child.
Mm-hmm.
I understood as a child.
Right.
I thought as a child.
Right.
But when I became a man, I put away childish things.
Right. When I become a man, when I become a grown woman, I put away childish things. I stop approaching conversations as if I already know the outcome, as if I already know something negative is going to happen, or I stop approaching conversations out of fear and trust. No, I approach it out of gray area, track record.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Have I analyzed this person's track record? My wife been with me 15 years. I don't got to sit there and worry about if she's going to leave or not. You understand?
Sure.
It's like, that's not how I begin a conversation in my head. When I'm thinking about what I'm going to say to her or something I got to go into her about, it's no longer, oh yeah, well, she might leave me. 15 years. She already been through the worst of my conversations.
Okay.
When I was young and dumb and didn't know how to do relationship conversations, she was there.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm better at it. So all I can think is she'll still be there. Don't worry. You know what I mean?
Okay.
She was with me when my first reaction to a conversation was grab all her clothes and throw them on the front lawn.
And she got through that.
And she made it through that. So if I'm telling her, hey babe, listen, you got to do what the scriptures say. I think that's a little better than what I used to do. Right?
A little more civil.
Right. You know what I mean? So I'm approaching things off a track record now. Fear is there still, once in a while, right? Trust is there, but it's being filtered through what? Logic. You understand? It's being filtered through, okay, am I giving her words of wisdom, or am I just saying things to react off of my emotions? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Am I just mad because the way she talked to me and I'm going to go into her mad? Or am I giving her words of wisdom like, look, you know the scripture. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. If there be kindness, meekness, gentleness in her tongue, you could have answered me a lot better than that. You know better. Instead of what I used to do. You know what, pack your right?
Go back to your mama house.
Right. Get out. You gonna sleep outside in the cold tonight. Y'all see that?
God.
Nah, I'm gonna approach things as an adult, not off my emotions like a child, but through communication. You see that?
God.
And now, as a woman, same thing. I'm now grown up in my mentality. I'm grown up in the way I'm gonna talk. So I'm not gonna deliver things like I would when I was 19 with my boyfriend who dumped me. I'm not gonna deliver things like I did when I was 15 with my first boyfriend that dumped me. Why? Because I didn't know how to talk to people. Because because I wanted to start every conversation with my boyfriend with nigga, right? Nah, I'm now more refined in my speech. I have a lot more tact, a better etiquette when I speak. You see that? So now,
Like, shalom, sir.
right? And you know, I was thinking, you know what I mean? I saw this kind of going this way that we're doing things. I see it kind of going bad, and I want to fix things before it gets too bad. You know what I mean? The Most High, I've been praying. You know, you start stuff like that. Like we talked about this the other day. How you start a sentence off, right? These things come to your brain now because why? I'm not being childish. But what is happening when you're in that shutdown mode? You know what? I'm not gonna say nothing. No, I'm not gonna say nothing because that's gonna offend you. You know what? I don't want to argue.
And that's where you break the agreement.
Yeah,
That's where you
being childish.
That's where you break the agreement to be a wife, to be a husband. You break that agreement to be that unit.
What if you like be quiet because you feel like anything you say will be used against you, good or bad? Like it's like a question. Like there's like has to be a right answer, always.
That's young again, that's childish communication. That's where the husband, the wife have to develop the understanding that, is it about wrong or right all the time?
No.
Should it always be about who's wrong or who's right?
No.
Or should it be about how do we get past whatever we're dealing with?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Now there is going to be a wrong and a right party. That doesn't always have to be pointed out like, look, you wrong, and look, I told you so. But there has to be in the mind of both people, remember this is both, that, okay, we got a goal to accomplish. We're trying to accomplish something in the Most High in Christ. We're trying to be examples to our children on how to just have healthy relationships in general. Because remember, the kids look at how you communicate. They look at how one person will dominate the conversation over another. They look at all these things and they'll say, well, okay, I just got to shut all the way down all the time and never say anything in fear. Again, it's fear of being what? Wrong or being wrong? Or being you're using your words. What'd you say? Having your words against you?
Thrown in your face.
Yeah, right. Now, that man got to be skillful to not do that because nobody wants things thrown in their face. What's the job of the man is to teach his wife, right? So what would he be teaching her? How to throw things in her face? Or is he trying to develop and build? See, that's not what we're supposed to be doing, is throwing things in each other's face. Nothing comes from that. I hope brothers realize that. Nothing comes from me doing the I told you so and taking what a person says and just tossing it back at them. Nothing comes from that. What are you you have to ask yourself, what is it that I'm trying to accomplish in my relationship? Well, if it's supposed to be communication and a person feels like all I'm doing, and they could just feel like it, but if you got some brothers that are guilty of it, they do throw things in people's face. That's all you do, then the communication, the person's not going to be willing to talk to you, man. You're not going to be willing to reciprocate conversation. Why? Because everything I say, this gets tossed right back at me. Shirai, you had your hand up.
I was going to ask, what is the difference between throwing something in someone's face versus bringing up stuff that person is still doing, if it's still relevant?
It's how you do it. It's how you do it. It's, here, let me show you something. You know, if a person is doing something and you go to them, you show, your wife is maybe, she's cooking the eggs wrong, whatever. You go to her, hey, I don't really mess with the eggs like that. Do them like this. And she continues to do it. You got to continue to go to her and show her. Or it's a two-way thing, because I think sometimes the women have in their head that you can't tell your husband where something is affecting you negatively that he's doing, and you should be able to.
I'm gonna make it real simple though. When it comes to, is this being thrown in my face, or is it not being or is it being used as an example? Are you still doing it?
And that's what she said.
Because people play with that. They play with that oh, you're throwing this in my face. You're throwing this in my face, but
you're still
no. I'm not throwing nothing in your face. Mm-hmm. You're doing the wrong thing still.
Still, right.
Like if you, okay, throwing it in your face. Listen, watch how you drive down the street. You drive the car too fast and then you brake right on people's bumper. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. There, I'm telling you what you did wrong. Okay. Next 5 times we've been driving. Look, stop driving so fast and stop braking right on people's bumper. I'm not throwing that in your face. Mm-hmm. You just did it again.
Right.
Huh? But when am I throwing it in your face? Stop driving like this, blah, blah, blah. Okay, 5 years later.
When you get into an argument about something else, well, I hate the way you drive.
Right.
That's throwing it in your face.
You understand? But yeah, I don't like that throwing it in your face thing, because sometimes women don't, and men too. But in my experience, women you try to use that against me a lot.
Yeah.
You're always throwing that in my face. No, you're
still
doing the damn thing. You know what I mean? That's not throwing it in your face. That's you ain't got it right yet. So I'm gonna keep bringing it up until you correct it.
And that's how it has to be looked at. Am I being again, the misconception of what communication should be and how it should be done. Y'all forget that in communication, there's supposed to be a lesson being learned. You're getting taught through communication, and the examples that get brought up, if you are continuing to do the same thing, you as a person, not in the child mind that we just read, both should be saying, wait a minute, like he said, am I still doing that? Why is that being even brought to the forefront of the conversation? Well, I'm still doing it. It's like brothers. Brothers say the same thing though. Why you throwing that in my face, huh? I'm not. You just did it 5 seconds ago. What the hell? Like you talking about you the new nigga.
Right.
Well then be the new nigga. Or I'm gonna bring up the old stuff you did from 5 years ago until today. Right. If you're still doing it. That's all that is.
You always saying I got lust demon. I ain't even been messing with women like that. Bro, you just stopped last week. I'm not throwing nothing in your face. That was last week.
You just had a conversation about women 5 minutes ago. Right. We got to understand the difference. But at the end of the day, you still can't let that stop you from expressing and communicating to each other.
What if, like, okay, so you brought up the thing about, like, if you're still doing it and everything, but what if you've tried to do it a different way and it's still making them mad, but they're not, like, willing to show you the way they want it done? But, like, you stop. So
you're trying to say it one more time?
So, like, you're trying to fix the thing that they keep bringing up.
Right.
Like, let's say you've done it, like, 5 different ways, and it's still pissing them off because you're still not doing something right, but they're not showing you how to do it. Or pointing out.
They're not showing you how to do it?
Yeah, or not pointing out exactly, like, okay, so you're pissing me off because you're doing this, but I'm going to use it as a broad subject instead of, like, pinpointing exactly what it is.
Well, it's up to that husband. He has to take the time to walk you through like a babe. If that's the case, if that's what you need, he got to walk you through it. You got to go point step for step, but then also you have to be willing to let me go step for step with you. See, it's always a two-way thing. Because it's easy to say, well, what if this person? Well, are you making sure that you're able to go step for step? Are you making sure that you're not just sitting there prideful as hell, mad, upset because they're showing you? Why you treat me like I'm stupid? Well, because I tried to give you a generalization, but now I got to take you through baby steps. You see, I can always go 2 ways, and I'm not going to, again, point it on one person. It's 2 ways. The mind got to be open both ways. The communication is a reciprocal of different things and emotions.
You both got to put away childish things.
Yeah.
You know, the person that's speaking got to be willing to, Ecclesiastes 10:1, real quick.
I'll read it.
Go ahead.
A wise judge will instruct his people.
Yeah, y'all can write it down. A wise judge will instruct his people. Y'all see that? As a man, your people is your wife, your kids. You understand? If you're a wise judge, you'll instruct your people. You're not just going to whoop your kids because they're drawing on the wall, right? If you never told them not to. Right? No, you're going to instruct them. Okay, listen, don't draw on the wall. Likewise with your wife. You can't just be like, listen, these eggs you cook me, hell no.
Like Adam Sandler?
Right.
I said over easy! Over against the wall.
Right, but you ain't an instructor and show her, look, you ain't never sat
What
in the kitchen,
over easy was.
flip the eggs for her and show her like, look, this is what over easy is.
Yep.
You understand?
Con.
A wise judge will instruct the people.
It's
Because
just
they're not evil until they're doing something against
right.
what has been laid down. You understand?
It's like when the Most High gave Moses the instructions to build a temple and he gave Noah the instructions to build the ark. If they would have built it any old way, just build me an ark, and he just went and just built a small little raft, would the Most High have room to be mad if he did it just any old way? No, because he said, just go build me a raft. Right, but he gave Moses specific instruction down to the cubit, down to the material. And he went down and he said, okay, this is how we gonna build it. Right?
Con.
He gave him the specifications. That's that word specifications. When you're building anything, they always use that word. These are the specifications to build. Now, you have to put that same care into your relationship.
Case in point, when Moses came down off the mountain, right?
Con.
What were the people doing when he came down with the 10 Commandments?
Partying, golden calf.
Worshiping the golden calf, right?
Con.
Now, Moses was coming down with the commandments. That means the people hadn't been told, don't worship no damn golden calf yet. Remember, they was raised up in Egypt,
Con.
right? So they didn't get it. Oh, don't worship no golden calf. Moses was coming down with those commandments. So he couldn't come down there and just start, hey, that's why the Most High didn't open up the earth and swallow up 40,000 people. Or send snakes through them at that point. You understand?
Or even kill Aaron.
When did they start getting the snakes and the ground opening up and the fire and all that?
After Sinai.
When the commandments got laid down, right?
God.
After Moses came down, he told them all these 613 laws, statutes, and commandments, and they was like, all that the Most High has said we will do.
After you agreed.
Right. After you comprehended and agreed, then there was punishment. Likewise, the men. That you gotta give instruction.
After there was understanding.
Right.
What lacks in communication? When there's lack of communication, lack of understanding. It goes right back to the point always that are the men that are trying to have these relationships in Christ. Are we giving the understanding of what we want? Because we can sit back. I get tired of hearing it. Well, yeah, she just say or she, but it's like, well, are you meticulous in saying, no, I want it done to this specification? Are you leaving room for error in your communication? Because as young men, we tend to do that. As unskilled stewards, we'll leave room for interpretation. And guess what? People will interpret things any way they see fit. Cook me some eggs. Well, he didn't say how, so here goes these Rebos Rancheros. I don't even know what Rebos Rancheros is. I never had that. You're like, what the hell is this runny ass plate of eggs?
You get it the way she knew how to make it. 2 hard-boiled eggs on a plate.
Not even rolling around. Not even peeled. Yeah.
Why? Because, well, hey, you wanted eggs.
You wanted eggs.
And they're cooked. They meet all the specifications
that
you laid down. You see that? They used to do that to us in school. They'd be like, you'd have to write a paper instructing somebody on how to make a peanut butter sandwich.
And you have to be meticulous.
The teacher would come out and she would act out what was on your paper exactly. So you'd be like, you was lazy. You like grab 2 pieces of bread, put peanut butter on one, put jelly on the other, and put them together. So she'd come out, grab 2 pieces of bread, right? She'll break off. My teacher would break off 2 little pieces off of one slice of bread. She'll bust off 2 little pieces, right? Grab the peanut butter, put it on one. Grab the jelly, put it on the other, right? Put them together. It'd be on the opposite side though.
Right, because it didn't say
jelly be on her finger over here, peanut butter be on her finger over here.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because you didn't want to give the specifications. You see that?
Get 2 slices of bread.
Yeah.
Lay them flat on the counter.
But and that's not always the man's fault. A lot of times, brothers do it too. As officers, when we're young officers, we get that. We see this person, and they're grown, and they got a beard.
And we're like, oh yeah, brother, let's go down the block and da-da-da-da-da. It's like, wait a minute, I didn't tell you to go run somebody. Like,
right. You know what I mean? Like, wait a minute. I got to be a lot more specific with this brother. Because when I told him to go get gas, this brother went 20 miles out the way
got gas and burned it up on the way back.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, when I said go get gas, why you didn't go down the street? Oh, I went to my favorite gas station. I know the guy. But you burned out $20 worth of gas
just to get back. Yeah.
But you got to be specific. Hey, man, go right down the street and get some gas.
And that's the thing. That's the point of this communication part. It has to be clear. It has to be clear and consistent, because
the instruction got to be clear, but also the person receiving it
got to be clear.
That's the thing is, we went on the other side of, okay, the man's at fault because he didn't give the right instruction. But how often times is the woman at fault because she acting like she just don't get nothing, or she don't want to be quick on the uptake? Because we got to remember the scriptures say wisdom is quick, lively, right? So you got to be able to be quick on the uptake too. You understand? When you get in a relationship, you got to start. Okay, let me know my man. When he say cook me some eggs, I ain't going in there giving him 2 hard-boiled eggs. Hell nah. If nothing else, if I don't know, let me ask.
But when you say make me some eggs, that means like if I say make me some eggs, I'm asking for a full breakfast.
Right.
I'm not asking for just 2 eggs.
Right.
I want like 4 eggs. I want toast on the side. I want hash brown. I want a full joint. You know what I mean?
That comes from understanding.
That comes from understanding.
I might tell my rib, hey, go make me some rice. That's all I want.
Right.
You know what I mean?
See, I ain't like that.
Yeah, but my rib, she'll go down and make a whole pot of rice, and that'll be like the only thing. But I'm like, damn, you made too much. That's my fault.
You didn't say make me a half a cup.
Yeah, I told her make me some vegetables one time, man. We had green beans and green peas and corn. This chick had the biggest plate with a pile of corn and green beans on there, and I'm like, I don't know if I can eat this in my life. And after halfway through the plate, I'm like, I'm already bored with it. And I'm like, I'm bored with eating, and I'm tired. My jaw hurts.
Should have said make a cup.
Right, but you got to be specific. You got to be like, okay, listen, I want a little bit of green beans or a little bit of corn, whatever. You got to be specific, but at the same time, on the other end, right? How long has this woman been with you that she gotta know you too? Y'all sisters, y'all gotta get to know your man, and again, if you don't know, communicate.
But that's how you get to know.
Right.
That's how you get to know is by the communicate. That's why it's the most important, because everything I want to know about this person comes in conversation. It comes in watching. It comes in asking. It comes in being able to be instructed. Right? Let me get these. Con. It's all good. It's all good. Let me get. Go to Matthews real quick. 18:18. I know we've been hitting different parts of this communication. What was up, Ricardo? What's up?
Can we expound on like consistency and also lack of consistency?
What do you mean?
I'll give
in communication.
In communication, but from everything in this first part of it.
Well, we're dealing with communication, so we can go there. Watch. I got something for you. Read this real quick. Go to Matthew 18:18.
Matthew chapter 18, verse 18.
And this just goes along with the agreement. Read.
Verily I say unto you,
right?
Whatsoever ye shall bind on earth,
right,
shall be bound in heaven.
Go ahead.
And whatsoever ye shall loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven.
Go ahead, verse 19.
Again I say unto you, that if 2 of you shall agree on earth as touching anything.
Right, so a man and a wife that agree in one. He said if 2 of you shall agree, go ahead.
On earth as touching anything. That they shall ask,
right?
It shall be done for them.
It shall be what?
It shall be done for them.
Now this is the thing. In your communication, what are you asking for? Are you asking for the instruction? Are you asking for the understanding? Are you asking for the patience? Are you communicating to each other what you need? Or are you just bottling down emotion? Are you just, he checked my spirit. He didn't go all the way into me, but he pointed out something that I should correct. And all of a sudden you shell up. Instead of saying, wait a minute, is that pride? Or is he trying to teach me? Oh, well, I'm trying to make this balance here because I don't want it to be just a man thing or a woman thing, communication. It's a man thing too. Or, she got me mad, she got me upset, so guess what? You can walk home today and I won't talk to you till next week. Ain't that how we were taught to deal? But where were we supposed to agree? What were we supposed to be asking for in agreement? What does a lot of relationships lack? You don't understand each other. That's first and foremost. You don't understand where I'm coming from. I don't understand where you're coming from. We fail to get on the same page. Can two walk together? Least they be in agreement. Just because your bedroom game is good, right? Just because her favorite color is my favorite color, that don't mean a damn thing. That's not the agreement that you're looking for. The agreement is in the spirit. That's why I had you read up. Whatsoever is bound in earth and will be bound in heaven and vice versa. So if I'm asking for these things on earth, these spiritual things, the Most High is going to let them happen. If I'm asking to understand the person that I'm dealing with, if I'm asking for patience, if I'm asking for clear communication, instruction, the Most High is going to provide it. Y'all see this? Go to and then you somebody said how we were hitting on it about the clear communication. Because what happens is this: things get lost in translation, things get cluttered up through emotion, through all the crying. Because y'all sisters think that crying is communication. That don't tell us a damn thing about what's going on with you, except for that you're emotional. But we don't know if you're emotionally upset. We don't know if you're emotionally hurt. We don't know if you're mad. There's all these different emotions, but crying, what does that tell us? What does crying tell you?
Just she's upset. She's upset about something.
She's emotional about something.
Yeah.
Because you can still be upset and not cry. You could be angry and not cry. You could be mad and not cry. They're all different levels. But just crying, what does that tell us? Nothing. It don't say nothing, right? Go to Matthew's real quick, 5:37. Come on, I remember that. Yeah, they love that peanut butter reference. I don't remember doing that in school, but I like that. I like that. Matthew 5:37.
Matthew.
Go ahead.
Chapter 5, verse 37.
Go ahead.
But let your communication be
yea. Yeah, and it's simple. Your communication, this is how you keep it clear. This is how you keep it precise. Not all the extra emotion, not all the extra yelling and screaming, the madness behind it.
The snide comments.
Right, the I'm an asshole comment.
They call it throwing shots,
throwing shade, yeah.
All that stuff, that's irrelevant to a conversation. It's unnecessary. You know what I mean?
My sarcasm.
I'll give you guys a perfect example. Listen, can you take the trash out today, babe, and not leave it in there a week like you did last time?
Wow.
That's not necessary.
Nope.
Can you please take the trash out today is enough. Right?
Yeah.
But the sisters be throwing that little bit of extra, and then what happens? Now I'm in a yelling match again. You always yelling at me. Well, you always doing this. You always adding that little extra, and you know what you're doing.
Yep.
Y'all know what y'all be doing, and then when you check them on it, it becomes what? What? All I said was, can you throw the trash?
You trying to cut that last part off? You trying to cut that last part off?
I know what you did.
But there's a reason why Yahweh Shai said it like this. Because what comes from it. See, this is what we're trying to bring in this class is to show you what comes from these different things that we're not doing. What's up?
Speaking on like adding the extra sarcasm to it. like today I was texting my rib and everything like that, and this is on texting. You know, you can't understand what you can't hear the tone or anything through the fingers pressing on the letters and whatnot. But me reading her text messages, in my mind I was like, oh, I'm just gonna start throwing some little sarcastic thing on it, and I'm just like type it all out. I said, oh hell, no, I'm not gonna do that. Let me just go back and erase that and just put con or okay.
Render not evil for you.
You know, and just to kind of like forcing, like, you know what? No, don't do that. Don't say it like that, or don't even move in that direction because we're not even communicating on the phone. We can't even hear each other's voice or louder in front of person. So I didn't do that.
But even then, even if you hear a person's voice and they do that slick, sly, sarcastic, unnecessary comments, you're not supposed to go back and forth with that anyway, because there's nothing that comes from that.
Right.
Watch.
I'm saying everything else comes of eve.
Right. I was gonna have him finish it. Yeah. Go ahead, finish it. Watch.
But let your communication be yea, yea.
Right.
Nay, nay.
Right.
For whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil.
Yeah, because all it's gonna do is what? All it's gonna do is what? And I'm not gonna say it's gonna put you in a council, because that's not evil.
It causes strife.
But it causes the contention. What it does, you know why a lot of men don't want to talk to you sisters? Because of the slick comments, the slide tongue. They're like, man, I don't feel like hearing her damn mouth. Not that he can't put up with it, but some brothers just don't feel like hearing it. I know I'm one that I'm like, I don't feel like hearing it. I don't need to hear nothing slide, nothing slick, no extra. Just counter lie. Yeah or no. Either you can do it or you can't. Either you want to or you won't.
Right. Can you make me some dinner?
Don't breathe. Don't breathe before. Just say no. Listen, my whole thing is this, that if you don't want to do it, you should not feel like you have to do something. You should want to. And if you're asked, even with the children, hey, dishes. Naomi knows, don't do the breathing and the huffing and puffing. Don't do that. Because then you're going to hear a mouthful. Right? Just know that it's something that you're supposed to do anyway. That's what's supposed to be in your mind, that if I got to tell you to do something that you know you're supposed to do, that's the first and foremost problem.
God.
Not the fact that I'm asking you, and then you add to it when it's, nigga, you got to eat again? It's a whole different day.
Hey, flip side for real. Men, you gotta be decisive in your answers though. Women expect that.
Yep.
See, when you give that hard pause, because you know you don't want to do this thing, but you answer, it's the same as them doing the sigh. You know what I mean? Hey, can you take the trash out? Calm, baby, yeah. You gotta be decisive, man, quick. Remember.
Because it's just the trash.
Same thing for the men. Is the spirit is quick, lively, right? You're supposed to be quick and decisive. It tells you when you have once done, repent not of it, right? But you're supposed to be able to make decisions as a man. That's what they're expecting from you. When they say something, you know, when they do the does this dress make me look fat, and you give the hard pause, you said yes. You understand? You gotta be quick and decisive, man. Your brain gotta be awake at all times. Be instant, in season, out of season.
Yep.
Right? Reprove, rebuke. Because when she does something off, and you just sit there and look at her, and you try to play that childish game, like, okay, I'm just gonna watch what happens. You know what I mean? You didn't give no instruction. Your silence to that woman became consent. Go ahead and do it.
That childish woman.
Right. And then she's looking at you because her desire shall be to her husband. Right? She's looking at you like, you consented to that. It's messed up because you didn't stop me. It didn't go right because
why you ain't say nothing when I was doing it?
Right.
Why you ain't say nothing then? Why you saying something now?
Yeah, and she's wrong, but she's not wrong. Because as a man, that was your job. Was to communicate right then, quick. Right? Reprove, rebuke with all exhortation, right? You're supposed to do all that quick. While it's happening.
And he was talking about the consistency.
Right.
Right?
You gotta be always. We gotta get that scripture.
Go to Malachi real quick.
What's that scripture? You said
rebuke that one?
be instant in season. 1 Timothy, I think 4.
Yeah, it's Timothy's. Go to Malachi real quick, 3:16.
I'll find it.
Malachi chapter 3 verse 16.
Right?
Then they that feared the Lord spake
Wait,
often.
who spoke often?
They that feared the Lord.
It goes back to this agreement. Do we both fear the Lord? You break the agreement that you fear the Lord when you desire not to communicate.
Ooh.
You show your partner there's no fear of the Most High here. Because guess what? I'm angry. I'm upset. I'm an emotional wreck. We ain't got to talk. We don't have to communicate. It's not important. It says them that feared the Lord spoke often. Go ahead.
One to another.
Uh-huh.
And the Lord hearkened.
And what happened?
The Lord hearkened.
Yeah, because what you bind in heaven or in earth shall be bound in heaven. And whatever you ask, the Most High will give you. You know why the relationship is so strained and it feels like, well, he's always coming down on me. Or he's always checking me. Well, because the Most High ain't hearkening to what you guys want.
Yeah, that's 2 Timothy 4 and 2. You can just write it down. 2 Timothy 4 and 2.
Yeah, oh, okay. I was trying to get there.
Be instant in season, out of season. Reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. And a lot of deep words there. Long suffering. When I'm reproving, I'm making sure I'm not flying off emotion. I'm suffering this again. Yeah, I'm telling her again because she's not everybody gets it the first time, right? Yes, I'm telling you, just like women, you're gonna tell your kids something over and over again. Men, y'all gonna tell your women something over and over again. Sisters, y'all gonna remind your man of something over and over again because he's not gonna get it just like that. You know,
he just might not remember.
Right.
I mean, I'm very good for, hey, you're gonna have to remind me.
Right.
You're gonna have to remind me of that when it gets close. Just remember, hit me up. I forget names, man, of my kids sometimes. Like, what's his name again? Oh yeah, Noah. What's his birth? Like, I'll forget. Yeah. I gotta be reminded. So, but even in that, I'm communicating what I need from you. I need to be reminded. You can't get mad because you have to remind me, especially when I gave you the beforehand. Yep. But see, it goes into, well, why should I have to remind you? You a priest. You remember all them scriptures.
You must not care.
You don't care. You remember all them. You remember all that Bible. You got a good memory for the Bible, but you can't remember your kid's name, and you can't remember we had disappointment or that or that or that. It ain't that we don't. It's not a care thing. It's a I need to be reminded thing.
So, a question in communication, so communication is like both people being able to talk without one or the other getting mad at what's being said.
Listen, if we're I'm gonna use this word. If we're consenting adults in a relationship, what I have to say to you, why should I get upset if you're telling me something? Now, does it mean that whatever you're telling me is right or wrong?
No, but if we're talking and
right?
I'm telling you something and you're just like, I'm done listening, shut up, I don't want to hear it, you're done. You're done talking, don't speak.
Now, we gotta look at the way things are being said. The way things are being said, but you gotta give a person a chance to sometimes say what it is that is on their mind. Especially, a lot of y'all have these young relationships. And you have to get out there what's on your mind so that it can either be, I always say, it can either be corrected or the good idea that you have can be, remember, we just read it, be instant, in season, out of season. It says reproof, but it also says to exhort, right? How can I exhort you if I don't know what's going on in your head? How can I reprove you if I don't know what's going on in your head? Again, let's bring it back to the children. The kid comes to you crying, you just smack him in the face, get the hell out of here, don't talk to me? Or do you try to figure out what's wrong? What's wrong? And he's trying to talk and you're like, okay, stop crying first and then talk to me, right? Yeah. You gotta let him get it out. You don't just be like, oh, but it does get to the point where it's like, okay, you just want to cry, go cry over there first. Go cry. When you're done crying, then come talk. Right?
Con.
It's how it's coming. What level of respect are you dealing in?
Ooh. And again, going back to I put away childish things when I became a man.
Mm-hmm.
I want to deal in maturity.
Right.
You know what I mean? Maturity is going to have it so I can hear you out and I can listen. You know, if I feel like I don't know what to say to you, hey, you know what? That's a good thing. We're gonna go to council on that.
Yep. Not just get out of my face, you suck.
Right.
Shut the hell up.
Because, you know, as a young man, in the truth, I didn't know how to do things the way men did it in the truth.
Oh, back in the day it was Shammai. Shut the hell up.
Yeah,
Right.
As soon as you learn Shammai and Shaquat.
Oh, that was the only 2 words.
Right. That's how you was ending every.
As soon as but babe, Shammai. You're like, whoa.
Oh wait, hold your position.
Yeah.
We had that. Y'all ain't got
Right.
that.
Hold your position. Right. Yeah.
But see, when you become a man in the truth, when you become a woman in the truth, you gain a maturity level that teaches you how to deal with this conversation now. Now,
Yep.
as young people in the truth, we don't expect that y'all gonna get it and have the right answer right away. There's certain things my rib will still fire at me, and I have to pause and be like, oh, I don't know what to say right now. You know what I mean? And that's 15 years in, and me being a high-ranking officer. You understand? But as young in a relationship, if you got this thing where as soon as she started talking, you like, I don't know what to say, but I want to just punch her in the face and end this conversation, or I want to just kick her the hell out. Your first words should be, we need to get to counsel on that.
Yep.
We need to get a mediator.
Yep.
Y'all see that?
To bring the understanding of what's being said, and how to take it and how to correct it.
And it's nothing to be ashamed of.
No.
It's nothing to be ashamed of, because y'all don't know how to be Hebrew Israelites barely. Much less be Hebrew Israelite married couples.
Well, think about it. You don't know how to even carry out just regular day-to-day relations with people on a day-to-day. You don't know how to do it. Right. Just simple going to a person if you got a problem.
Yeah, worldly, most of our relationships in the world was what? Hit it, quit it. Before I got to listen to her problems, her life story, her baggage, I'm out.
Yep.
I got what I wanted.
So you never had the training.
Yeah.
You never had the training on how to deal with the stuff that came after.
Yeah. It's like that I forgot which cartoon. I don't know if it was I think it was Family Guy. Mm-hmm. When he wakes up in the morning and he rolls over and she's in the bed. He's like, "Whoa, you're still here?" I think
Quagmire? Yeah, because he ain't used to that. Yeah. Quagmire's hit it and quit it.
Yeah. But that's how it is, and the truth is like, damn, wait a minute, I'm married to her? Damn, I'm married to him? You mean I gotta be here every day?
That's the agreement.
Yeah.
It all goes back to Ecclesiastes 25:1. What did we agree on? Did we agree on hit it and quit it? Or did I agree that when we woke up the next day after the fun and the party, cocaine and alcohol, cocaine and rock and roll, right? That now we had to deal with some real spit. How are we gonna get past the misconceptions, the problems? How are we gonna do it? Well, it had to be the communication. It had to be clear. It had to be often. What did we communicate on, and what did we communicate with? Well, it had to be through the wisdom. It had to be through the spirit.
God.
Right?
God.
Where we at?
We're at Malachi 3:16.
Go to Hebrews 13:16. Go there, go to Galatians, and then we'll end it.
I got to throw in this on that point, though.
Mm-hmm.
Back to Proverbs 18, but verse 23. On that point of, that communication, that being grown, the consistency issue, well, what if I come to him with this and he just shuts down? Or what if I go to her with this and she's just making the comments, the little side comments, trying to make me mad and this and that. All that comes from, again, the main topic of this part right here, the communication and how you do it. We really got to drag those kind of things out. The communication part really got to be dragged out because, again, we got a lot of young couples. You know what I mean? And again, we got a lot of young Hebrew Israelites. You're just learning how to be a Hebrew Israelite, but now you got a wife. So I gotta learn how to be a Hebrew Israelite and a Hebrew Israelite husband. That's a whole different level.
It's a different level. But you use the same things to get there.
Yeah.
Kind of, if I'm communicating with brothers the right way, then I'm gonna communicate. I'm gonna take those things that I see that work, and I'm gonna implement them in my household.
Right. If I'm talking to a brother and he says some hurtful stuff to me, and I don't punch him in the face, damn, I could bring that home.
Yeah, that same sentiment I could bring home.
Right.
And I beat my wife down.
Yeah, if I'm dealing with a brother and whatever zone we're passing out flyers, and he's like, whoa, don't talk to them. And I'm not like, screw this, nigga, throw the flyers in there and walk home. I can do that at home.
Yep. It's the same principles.
Right?
Same principles.
When my wife talks out of order a little bit, I don't gotta elbow drop her from the top rope. I could be like, wait a minute. How would I deal with
they jump from the top rope? I used to go from the middle rope.
Right? I could be like, how would I deal with this if I was with a brother? How would I deal with this if this was my officer? How would I deal with this if this was a man out in the street that needed the truth? And he said some off the wall stuff. Would I just straight belt him in the face? Or would I get emotional and walk off? What would I do? Oh, I would talk this out. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Bring that home. But read that.
Proverbs chapter 18, verse 23. The poor use it entreaties.
The poor use a what?
Entreaties.
Somebody look that up real quick. Entreaties. The poor use entreaties. Now, poor, money, wealth-wise, okay, we got that. But in the relationship, physically, the woman is the poor one, generally. All right, some of y'all women is real tough, but generally, if y'all was in an arm wrestling match, the man's gonna win, right? Okay, so the poor, the ones that are a little bit, how do I say it? Physically deficient, right? Or inadequate, we'll say it like that. If you wouldn't win in a fist fight, you're the poor, all right? So you might want to use entreaties. What are entreaties?
An earnest or humble request.
An earnest and what?
Or humble request.
A earnest or humble request, right? I'm no longer the heel stomping, walking around the house with my manly attitude. Nigga, you gonna do the trash right now. No. What am I when I become a Hebrew Israelite woman? Sorry, baby, I got a lot to do today, and I would have done it myself, but can you throw the trash for me, please?
That gets results.
Entreaties.
That gets results.
God.
You'll get me to do the trash.
Yeah, that's what they say. You get more flies with honey than you do with vinegar, right? People don't want no stank-ass attitude. That part of that, instead of a sweet smell, there's a stink.
It's attitude.
That's your attitude, man. Yeah. Used to be the words in your mouth. Y'all see that? You used to have sweet words multiplying friends. Proverbs 18:24, or not 18:24. I'm sorry. Sweet words multiplying friends. You used to have that, but now you just got this stank attitude.
Standoffish.
Right. This antisocial, dirty attitude that a man don't want to deal with, and it's really because why? You haven't learned to use entreaties. What is it? What is an entreaty again?
An earnest or humble request.
You haven't learned to use earnest or humble requests. Y'all see that? Remember Abigail. That's all I gotta say. Remember Abigail.
How she spoke to David.
Exactly. How she even spoke to her husband, Nabal.
The fool. Yep.
How she dealt with him and dealt with David. How she dealt with everything pretty much in her life, more than likely. But that sweet words, multiplying friends. That sweetness of the tongue, kindness, meekness, gentleness in her tongue. You understand? Using entreaties, that'll kill a lot of arguments, man, before they even start. And learning that is an art. You can't just act like, oh, okay, he said use entreaties, so I know how to do that. No, you're prideful as hell. You better get on the internet. You better get in them old movies, those ones where the man grab a beer and be like, wench, get over here and give me a beer. She, yes, sir, Lord. You know what I mean? Like, whoa. Watch that Last Samurai. You want to see humility? Ooh, that chick. I was like, wow, I'll marry this lady in real life.
Oh yeah. I know you saw
This is her character she played on here. But the man killed her husband, and she had to house him in her house and be hospitable. This dude was walking around in his Western mentality, right? He had his boots on, came out from out in the rain, mud all over the boots, caked him all over the hardwood floor, and this chick was wiping it up right behind him on her hands and knees in her kimono, not saying nothing. You know what I mean? When she wanted to blow up, she didn't blow up at him. She went to her brother, went to her brother-in-law. This nigga stinks! I can't stand it! Blah, blah. Right? She was losing it, but she knew discretion. You understand? She had her counselor of 1,000, and she knew where she could blow up and when. And then when she got back, right after all that, she was,
yes sir.
You know what I mean? Closing the door behind him, doing all the stuff, making the food, serving the food. The height of humility, but where did all these other nations learn that, man? They learned that from y'all, how y'all used to be. Because y'all used to using treaties. Read it again.
The poor use it in treaties.
Right. The poor, the physically deficient in the relationship, they're going to use entreaties. I don't need to activate the lion today. I don't need to hear the lion roar today. That's not a necessity in life. Let me use entreaties. Let me make humble requests. Y'all see that? Emphasis on humble. You understand? Because some of y'all want to skip that and just make requests. Humble requests. You understand? Go ahead.
But the rich answer it roughly.
Right, but the rich answer it roughly. See, the ones that got too much, they got more than man could want. How they gonna ask? They just answer anybody any old way. Well, guess what? When you as a man, when you want to get some, now who's the rich? Now who's the poor? She got what you want now, right?
Now you come with those humble requests.
Right. See, now you gotta make it treats.
Those humble arm rubs and thigh rubs.
But you know what she's remembering, Akim? She's remembering that time when you was answering roughly.
Yep.
So you gotta balance yourself out too. You understand? You gotta learn to make entreaties. You gotta learn to make humble requests. You don't have to order your eggs like you're ordering from your enemy at a restaurant. You know what I mean? You don't gotta order like that. You could just be like, hey, can you make me some food today? Make me some eggs. You know how I like them, a little scrambled up, a little salt, a little pepper.
And that's the whole point that it should be getting to with the communication is that what are we working towards? What are we supposed to be working towards if the Most High said that Eve was a helper and a stay for Adam, but then the curse was that the wife would be subject, or the husband would rule over her. What are we trying to work to? If the husband ruling over the woman, look, you don't do it, was a punishment, are we trying to work to get out of that punishment? Right? What does that mean? You got to get up to speed on the communication. We're going to hit this one last scripture and then we'll end it here. Go there, Hebrews 13:16.
Hebrews chapter 13, verse 16.
Go ahead.
But to do good and to communicate,
right?
Forget not.
It says, but to do good and to communicate, forget not. Why? Why is it important? With all we said, why is the importance of forgetting not to communicate? Why is that there? Why do you say forget not? Because there's always going to be something that throws in your brain that it's not necessary. I'm upset. I'm emotional. How do I communicate? It went through the entreaties, right?
I already know how.
I already know what you're gonna say, so that's why I didn't say nothing. You don't know. What, you Dionne Warwick? Or I already know she was gonna get emotional, so I didn't bring it to her attention. We gotta stop doing that and do what the scriptures say. It says, "Forget not."
And we could have started with this scripture, but
the
thing y'all done heard this scripture before, right? But there's a lot behind that word communicate that we had to expound on.
Yeah.
You gotta give examples because people hear communicate. Oh, that just means I gotta talk and you gotta listen.
Nope.
No, that's not how communication works.
Nope.
Communication is the proper relaying of information from one person to another and back.
Back.
With feedback.
Not just you. Oh my God. You know how you do you know how you women, you'll come with a problem or an issue or something that you're feeling, and your husband, he'll correct you. He'll give you all the scriptures, and he'll ask questions, and your response is just That's not what we're looking for.
That's not communication.
That's not you being humble.
That's it, con.
That's not you being humble. That's not you communicating. That's why I do this thing now, where I say, explain to me why this wouldn't work.
Right.
Explain to me why this worked. Do you get what was going on in this situation? Yeah. Okay, what did you get? Explain to me what you got.
Follow-up question.
Yeah, you have to, because you got to be better at expressing what you're understanding.
God.
You got to get better at all of us. I do it to brothers. Really? Okay, tell me. What's up? What were you thinking about, or what did you get from that? Because just the like, oh yeah, I agree. That's all it means, is that you agree. But do you understand? Are we gaining, like it said in communication, are we gaining an understanding for one another?
Let's get this straight, because y'all learn in Hebrew, y'all young Israelites. Con does not mean I agree. Con just means yes.
Or yes.
Or so. Alright, so
that's my fault.
Most of the time you're inappropriately answering that question anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean? Babe, I told you, the man that wandered out of the way of understanding will remain in the congregation of the dead.
Con.
No, that's yes.
That means yes.
That means yes. It says that. That doesn't mean you agree. Aman means agree.
Right.
Aman means I agree.
Right.
Or if you want to go even further, I forgot what the word was. They kept using on the Sabbath reading, but and it means all that the Most High said we will do.
We'll do.
It's like one word though. But it's already with an M. But Aman means agree.
Yeah.
It means you agree to what's being said. Y'all see that?
Con.
But a lot of y'all be con.
Because
artists.
Because it's quick. Because it's a quick way to shut you up.
Right.
Ooh.
It's a quick way to stop you from going further into my mind. You got to see how the communication has to be a lot different.
Yeah, it just be like, listen, lean not on trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. You understand that, babe? Con. Okay, so I just shut up right now. You know what I mean? You say you understand that. No.
What do you understand?
What do you understand about that?
What did you get from that?
Because while she's saying con, she's like, hell nah, this nigga's off, and blah, 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 and he always trying to use the scriptures against me, and right when you cut through that, well, con to what? What do you understand about that?
Mm-hmm.
And when she got that hard pause there, that's because she wasn't thinking about nothing you just said. She ain't thinking about that scripture. You already offended her out the door when you got mad or when you got upset. She already shut down. You see that? When you do it to him, babe. So we got this, and that to do, and this and that. What are you gonna do, Con? He's just trying to shut you up. He's just trying to shut you up because why? You just rambling off about some stuff that you think is important, but he lost the importance of that. So you gotta ask follow-up questions too. So you do understand that this is very important. We gotta do this because the kids they got doctor's appointments and we got all these things scheduled. And so you really get this? Can you write it down or something like that? Just put it in your reminder or something, please, because it's very important. Using entreaties. You see that? I'm giving this specific examples because we already know to do good and communicate, forget not.
Well, what is it?
What the hell does that mean?
Right.
When I get in the situation, like if I teach my son how to box, right? And all I tell him is, listen, throw punches. Don't stop. And he goes in a fight, and all I taught him was throw punches. Don't get hit and throw punches. That's not really specific. You understand? No. I need to teach him how to punch, where to punch, how not to get himself damaged when he punches somebody. You understand? you gotta have a walkthrough on that. You can't just be like, get in there and fight. So likewise with a relationship. We can't just say young Hebrew Israelite men that's barely learning that Christ is black and that they're Jews and they're Hebrews and barely learning the commandments and throw them in a relationship. And be like, look, apply all the scriptures.
No, just communicate.
Right. Communicate.
Yeah, doing it wrong.
So just talk a lot?
Just yell? No. Just yell.
Right. That's how they interpret it, right?
Yell at her.
They don't get, don't be a lion in your household. Don't be a tyrant in your household. They get
Restoring with the spirit of
communicate.
meekness.
Right.
Love yourself.
With all long suffering.
Right. Long suffering. You don't get that.
Right.
That's,
so you got to be specific.
Those are the. But that's forget not. Rosa, real quick.
It's like they want to make sure that you got it, so they want more explanation from you. Because if you just say con, it's like, oh, I just said it right now, so it went inside one ear and then came out the other one. So they want more for you to say, so they can make sure that you got it, so you don't have to continue doing it.
Yeah, feedback.
Yeah, feedback.
That's what it's called. I want to know that what's in my mind is now in your mind.
And that's communication. I'm going to give you this information. You're going to internalize it, think about it, and then give me something back according to that information. That's real communication. That's real going back and forth. It's not just a one-way thing.
For you young sisters, that's what your husband is doing when he says that.
Mm-hmm.
When he draws it out past calm, when you're all surprised because, oh damn,
Wait, follow up.
you really asked me what you meant? Oh damn. Right? When you get surprised, that's because that's feedback he wants. He doesn't want just con, right? We could talk in the mirror and do that. We could become officers and just talk to the brothers in class and sisters in class and hear con. But what do we want from our relationship? We want feedback. I want to know that you're doing as the Most High created you to be. You're supposed to be a helpmeet, which means comparable to me. Which means we're on the same mind, same judgment.
You're getting away from the punishment.
Right. 1 Corinthians 1 and 10. I want to be on the same mind, same judgment.
And also that we're constantly agreeing on what we first agreed to do, which was talk about things, discourse about things, and deal with issues. Finish it real quick, and then I'll get to you, Ricardo. Finish it.
But to do good and to communicate, forget not.
Right?
For with such sacrifices.
Why does it become this sacrifice? Because I don't want to divulge a part of me. I don't want to give up what I'm thinking. I don't want to take the time to consider. Wait a minute, what's he talking to me about? That's why when you get hit with the follow-up question, you get thrown off your rocker. You're like, whoa, wait, what? Wait, say that one more time. Why do I gotta repeat it if you just said con? It becomes this sacrifice of the mind, like, damn, this nigga just gonna keep talking to me? You just gonna keep asking me questions? You just gonna keep picking my brain? You gonna keep making me think? That's all it is making you think, and you hate it. Communication makes you think about the situation and the circumstance, and you hate. It's like we hate to think, and we're lazy in the mind.
Yeah, and man, I'm gonna tell you, it's popping into my brain right now. But if you play with this communication thing and don't get that feedback, it's gonna be years down the line. You're gonna realize she is not at the same mind, same judgment as you.
Right. She don't agree with you.
Yeah, because that feedback makes sure that when she's in a situation by herself, she's gonna make the same judgment call that you want her to make. You understand? But how do you know you're 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, and you're like, wait, why you treating my son like that? Why you treating the sisters like that when you go to the meetings? Because when you was telling her, listen, if there be kindness, meekness, and gentleness in her tongue, then there's her husband not like other men.
Come!
And she was like, come. You understand that? Come. And you didn't ask no follow-up, no feedback. You didn't make sure that was cemented into her mind. So now, she ain't got no kindness, meekness, and gentleness in her tongue when she go out there. Why? Because what you were saying went in here, out here.
You didn't establish that you guys agreed on. Is there that's the whole thing. You didn't establish the agreement. And then you know what you take away too? You take away the accountability. Well, nigga, I didn't agree on that anyway. I didn't agree for the whole 10, multiple ribs. Well, the Bible says, all she did was just say con through every multiple rib scripture. Con. Con. Then when you get one, oh well, if you do it, I'm leaving. But you agree? What? You said con the whole time. You never figured out what did she agree on. What did she agree on with you and the wisdom? Most importantly, did you sacrifice sometimes the follow-up question is the sacrifice for some. Okay, I gotta shoot a follow-up question to figure it out. But I know if I have this conversation, what is it gonna do? It's gonna get her emotional. It's gonna get her upset. I'm gonna start making her uncomfortable, uneasy. I might get uneasy. It's a sacrifice. We both gotta be willing to sacrifice in this communication. We gotta agree. Y'all understand? Like I said, that was just one part of it. There's more, and I'll go through this through time. You had a question before we end it.
Well, all this last part of what you're speaking on, once we establish, okay, so that's this last part, establishing the agreement. Follow-up questions kind of answer the question that I had earlier. Okay. Right. But that's how we get on the same page, right? After all this, towards the end of it, this is how we get on the same page.
This is how you were supposed to stay on the same page. But the communication early, yes, that's how you remember. The communication was, remember when you first get into a relationship, you're not going to agree on everything right away. But there has to be foundational things you agree on. And that's going to be the next part that we go into is the foundation. The foundation of the relationship. Because communication has to be there first and foremost, because that's the first thing you do when you meet a person. You communicate. You don't set your foundation first, right? You communicate about the foundation. And there's scriptures that I'll go into to show y'all. Wait a minute. The foundation got to be next? Yeah. After we communicate and agree on things, then we start to build the foundation. You don't just start pouring cement before you figure out where you're going to build. Right? You don't go, oh, we're going to build something. Let's pour cement. Wait a minute. We didn't even draw anything out. We didn't communicate where we're going to put the building, how we're going to build it, how high. You communicate first, and then you lay your foundation. Right? So I want y'all to think about that. Laying the foundation. Everyone there, what is your foundation? Is my foundation the same as my husband's foundation? And are we on separate foundations? Is my foundation shaky? Is his foundation solid? And vice versa. Just something to think about for the next time we hit this class, this topic, the next time we continue.
This was good because we've been here for like 5 months? Right? 5 months. And these are questions that have been arising in my head because it's like, man, I need to get this. What's next? I want this. But now speaking on the relationship, speaking on within this Hebrew Israelite marriage and everything like that. It's like, there's not a plateau, but it's like, okay, what preparations do I need to get myself prepared for so that I can continue going through the tribulations and going through the endurance of what's going to be hitting through us on the outside, on the inside, everywhere, you know what I mean?
Well, listen, having a good, strong relationship is supposed to be a help. So that's why we go through it. That way, if you catch a hell out in the world, that's inevitable. But the hell shouldn't be coming from your household, from your wife. If you agree to be in agreement. If you agree to be in this realm together, then we shouldn't be causing each other hell. It does say those of your household will be your foes, right? But not a husband and wife that agree on one. So we just provide this information to make sure that the ones that do agree to be in a relationship in Yahushua, that you know how to continue the longevity, continue the agreements. All right?
Yeah, because one thing that I like that he taught in the class, the longevity part, is the thing is with a relationship, it's just like a job. Or it's just like a career. Let me not say a job, a career. If you're a doctor, you don't just get to go to the your college, your 7, 8 years of college, and then your doctorate school. You know what I mean? What is that? Pre-med and all that stuff like that. Not once you're done with that and you're a doctor, you don't just get the lab coat and oh, I'm a doctor for life. Nah, you got to do follow up.
You got to do the doctor's work.
You got to keep doing research into what you do, because next year they're going to have another test for you and make you recertified.
Yep.
Right? They're going to make you recertified, so you got to be up on your game that you left with from school.
Right.
And it's the same way with a relationship. You got to constantly, okay, you know what? She's not falling for the, okay, she told me con, and then I asked the follow-up question. She's not following for the follow-up question no more. She's not falling for that no more. So what do I got to do? I got to find different angles now on how to approach her, right? He's not falling for the, I just don't get it. He's treating me like I'm playing him like he's stupid. So I got to find a different way to say I don't get it that doesn't like make him think I'm playing with him. You see that? Yeah. Hey, what scripture was that again, babe? Because I don't think I wrote it down. Or if I wrote it down, I don't get the scripture. Can you help me out? There's ways you gotta now research. Go on the internet, find out how happy relationships work. Watch your favorite soap opera and look for the ones that ain't fighting all the time. You know what I mean? The Luke and Laura's that be together like 25 years. You gotta go look for that and see how do they communicate with each other. You understand?
Huh.
It's a constant research, constant recertification.
Yeah, you're constantly applying. No matter.
Right.
That's what I was gonna say to this was, no matter what stage you get in a relationship,
I don't care if you've been together for 30 years. I don't care if you've been together 15, 17, 20. You have to always reestablish, and you shouldn't have to reestablish communication if you're constantly doing it. Communication should not be something that you reestablish. It should be a constant. It's now looking at different situations of how you deal in communication.
Yeah, you don't always gotta shout orders. You can be funny.
Right.
You can be witty. You can be I read comic books, so I got Peter Parker, Spider-Man. You know what I mean? He's always got that wit. He's like, when he's fighting, y'all see him in the movies, when he's fighting, he's always talking stuff, right?
Nah.
But he's witty, he's quick. You can do that. It don't have to be, I'm just Hebrew Israelite Superman and you better do what I say, God, thus saith the Lord. You can be witty. You understand? You can make your woman laugh and not be soft.
And but this is what we got to remember. Where does it come from? If I'm constantly if I'm constantly communicating, if I'm constantly working at this thing, then I know how to approach a person. That's all it is. I know how to deal with my wife. It don't always have to be me barking orders or her shutting down, and she could come to me and we can talk about her feelings and how she feels about this and how she feels about that, and you can work around having to deal a certain way or be one way all the time. I mean, y'all get that, right? All right, let's end it there. We went a little bit over. It's all good. Mashaba will be here Wednesday to finish up his Pure Rim class. Make sure y'all tune in online. Make sure y'all hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. We appreciate it. We put out the coronavirus video. Make sure y'all check that out. Like, share, subscribe. We got another one coming up that we just did last night. It's a good one. So once we get it edited, we'll put it up there. They got class tomorrow in VA, so look out for that. Another good one.
Listen, a lot of y'all get family members, you get friends that ask y'all questions.
Shoot them the videos.
You know what I mean? Yeah, hit them with the video. Let them get exposed to it like that professionally. And because a lot of y'all, you're still students. You don't want to be fumbling around. These are life issues that they're dependent on you for now. Give them to a professional. Y'all see that? Let them watch those videos and get hooked on that. That helps spread that word.
Right.
But it also helps in the fact that you got to remember, we all got our pride and we all want to be the one that solves the problem and the superhero and all that. But this is somebody's life on the line. These are people's spirits on the line. You want to make sure that's dealt with the right way. You understand?
God.
That's why in James he said, be not many masters.
You'll receive the greater condemnation.
Right. You know what I mean? Let us get the condemnation for whatever happens. You just point them in the right direction.
Yeah. Even if you start them off Remember, we dive into these topics, so shoot them the videos. All right. With that, we'll end it. We'll see y'all tomorrow, live from Virginia. Let's salute them and say shalom.
Shalom.
The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. In the name of Messiah, the Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. Yeah. The Most High is my rock. I keep my Bible on top. The Most High is my rock. No time for cupcake and the cutting. Hit the streets and start cutting. The Israelites are bubbling. The Israelites are coming. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. You can keep the stuffing. It's pagan, disdain, it's vain, it's nothing. The European Union about to hit the button. And I feel sorry for you if you think the Lord is bluffing. That's why I hit the booth and I tell the truth.